Just ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather on this Yacht Rock Tuesday. And we've got a question for you, a talkback question for you. We'll get to that in a sec. First, Charity, what stories are you following?
President-elect Trump is reportedly expected to name Florida Senator Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. Republicans are just a few seats away from keeping control of the U.S. House as the vote counting rolls on. And a couple of San Antonio-based companies have been ranked as military-friendly employers. We'll have details right now, traffic and weather.
Looks like it's going to cool down a little bit. How much and when? We welcome in News 4 San Antonio meteorologist Jeanette Kaye. Good morning, Jeanette. Thanks, Jeanette. 62 degrees here at the Radio Ranch. WOAI News Time, 521.
San Antonio's first news on a Yacht Rock Tuesday, 1 week beyond the 2024 election, the Trump transition underway. Charity McCurdy is back. He's Mr. T, Tim Merriman. Charlie Parker with Those Were the Days coming up at 6:48 in the next hour. He'll join us in studio at 7:50. Andrew Zimmel and EJ Pacheco flying the Millennium Falcon, doing the heavy lifting. And although there are technical issues, Andrew Zimmel has got us on YouTube this morning as usual. We got a couple of technical glitches. We're a little late, but go to 1200 WOAI on YouTube and you can see the YouTube stream. Mr. T, you were telling us about a news story before the show this morning about how Americans might change the way they approach Thanksgiving and the holidays.
Yeah, after the results of this past election, it's going to be rough around the Thanksgiving table this year for a lot of people. So some people are actually changing their plans and making alternative plans for Thanksgiving. Others are trying to take it and take it head on and try to just put out rules, no political talk. You can't talk about this. You can't talk about that. I don't know about that. I think that's you can put out rules, but they never last.
No.
I mean, people always just, talk about whatever they want to talk about. And I know I have a big family and it's kind of split.
And Charity, how do you not talk about, this election was one of the biggest things of the year. To many people, it was the biggest thing of the year. How do you not talk about it?
I don't think you can avoid it. You just need to have plenty of wine available, just because it could get pretty heated. I booked my flight for San Diego Thanksgiving in June. So I'm committed. My family's committed at this point. And you just know it's going to come up. And we have both in my family as well. We have Trump supporters. We had Harris supporters. So it's going to get interesting, but we try to keep it civil.
Just try. I think a lot of my family needs to be committed. Just kidding. I'm kidding. But no, seriously, if you come up with those rules, you mentioned, no political talk. You said it. What else are we going to talk about?
So true. And I was talking to you guys this morning, and it's on the video that that Andrew Zimmel shot and put out there on Instagram, Twitter, and across social media. I think this country needs to get over itself when it comes to political divisions. We need to usher in a new era. The Republicans are in control. Donald Trump is in control. Executive branch, the House, the Senate, and, oh, by the way, the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta face it, and we got to get along. So, and I think that starts with the family. So why not start at the Thanksgiving dinner table and learn to talk to one another and you get over yourselves a little bit. Charity, we want to hear from the people on the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. Are you changing your Thanksgiving or holiday plans?
And if not, what are your plans?
What are your plans? And what's it like in your extended family?
Exactly.
Is it a mixed family? Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, otherwise? Charity, how do people get us that information?
You set it the free iHeartRadio app. You launch it, search 1200 WOAI, look for that red circle. That's the talkback button. Hit it 30 seconds to sound off. It's like leaving a voicemail.
Give it a shot. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
We want to know.
Well, maybe people need to smoke their turkeys this year. Just saying.
Is that a...
It's a veiled reference, yes.
Okay,
that
was
but it's not so veiled anymore, is it?
Yeah, right. Smoke their turkeys.
Yeah, maybe then people would get along better.
Have you had fried turkey? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, God, isn't it great?
I've had it once, and it was amazing.
All right.
Really good.
We're going to hear from you. Charity McCurdy has all the big stories you need to know about at the bottom of the hour. Right now, your Fox Business Report, WOAI News Time 525.
Guess what? We're finally back.
Wow, that's so weird. Andrew had major technical problems, but he fixed them, so that's very cool. So here we are. Rooster, Tommy, Travis, Kemper, Jacob, welcome in. Tracy Bogert, welcome.
Travis, that's why you use a turkey bong.
Steve DeRocco, everybody.
Good morning, Rock.
Steve DeRocco, the original Rock. THE Rock. The human element. Man's threat, woman's pet. Steve DeRocco, everybody. M1A1, good morning.
Good morning, M1A1. Tommy Miller, Travis, Kemper, Rooster.
Good morning, Rooster.
And we're back.
Happy birthday, Christine.
Christine, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Tim.
Hey, Tim, happy birthday, man. It's a giant Coca-Cola.
A different Tim. Wow, my God.
Okay, that doesn't look right.
That does not. That looks Photoshopped.
Oh, you know what? He's holding something else in his hand. And they decided to cover it up. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Come on.
Happy birthday, Bobby.
Wow. How dare they do that to a Tim?
Sam Tobias, I am caffeine free today. I am drinking water, baby. Mr. T is drinking my share of coffee for the morning.
Yes, I am. And doing all his methamphetamines, too.
Mm-hmm. I picked a bad week to give up methamphetamine.
Baby. Oh, great. The Trans-Siberian Orchestra is coming back.
Oh, man.
Okay, maybe this ain't going to go anywhere.
Possible. Travis, we're not disallowed from talking about anything. It's above our pay grade.
But we just don't know anything.
We know probably as much as you know if you've paid attention to social media.
Yeah, because we know nothing.
Yeah, across not only iHeart, but across all kinds of media lately, there's been a consolidation, and there have been cutbacks, and everybody is asked to do more things, to take on more responsibilities. So, but honestly, we don't know that much.
We know nothing. Hell, we found out about it just like everybody else did on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Baby. Oh, he looks like a fine, upstanding young man. Yes, he does. So I took off my hat and said, imagine that.
Jacob, I heard she was going to stick around for a little longer till the 24th, 25th.
Who that?
Jacob says Maggie from Ken's 5 left.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but yes. I mean, that's what we've heard. It's only going to be Thanksgiving, Kemper, so I think you're off a month. Mm. Make a wish, baby. Okay, wait a minute. We got one. Must be Rooster.
Yeah, what restaurant got a Michelin star? I saw that. Didn't click on it.
Mixta.
Okay.
It's a Mexican restaurant
That's,
someplace downtown.
You know, that opens up a door to best restaurants in San Antonio.
You know, I like that.
Yeah. If for any reason this doesn't happen.
I can tell you this much. Not Taco Palenque before 11.
Oh, my God.
We got to talk about that.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah, we could go right next door and
I know. Spend money.
Savannah's fine with
Yeah.
it.
All right, here comes Charity, everybody.
.30 is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Tuesday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, Trump continues to build his cabinet and the soul searching continues in the Democratic Party. We'll have details first, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes and mornings. Your weather forecast for this Tuesday, partly cloudy, a high near 85. Tonight's low near 60. Right now, 64 degrees. President-elect Trump continues building up his cabinet as he transitions back into the White House. Here's Fox's Brooke Singman with more.
Governor Kristi Noem could reportedly be named Secretary of Homeland Security, which has oversight of everything from Customs and Border Patrol to FEMA and the Secret Service. Trump is also expected to nominate Florida Senator Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. The president could still change his mind here, but right now, a source tells us he is planning to offer Rubio the job. And if he does, Rubio would be the first Hispanic Secretary of State in U.S. history. Sources also tell us Trump has also offered Florida Congressman Mike Waltz the role of White House National Security Advisor. The three-term Republican congressman was the first Green Beret ever elected to the House.
Republicans are just a few seats away from keeping control of the House as the vote counting rolls on. A win for Republicans would give President-elect Trump an easier path to enact his policies now that the Senate is under GOP control. As of now, Republicans need to win just 3 more seats to gain control, while Democrats need 12 to keep control. Republican Senate leadership has an open seat as the party's current leader, Mitch McConnell, plans to step down. Florida Senator Rick Scott tells Fox's Hannity that he wants President-elect Trump's agenda to be implemented as soon as possible.
I want the Donald Trump agenda implemented. I want his nominees confirmed as quickly as we can get those nominees confirmed so we can get to work.
Other candidates in the race include Senator John Thune and Senator John Cornyn, billionaire Elon Musk, and President-elect Trump's Secretary of State pick, Senator Marco Rubio, have thrown their support behind Senator Scott. Last week's election disaster has some Democrats talking about rebuilding the party.
The Democratic Party's response, I think, has to very clearly be for working people as the core of who it is that we are.
San Antonio Congressman Greg Casar says that Democrats should be talking about issues like rent relief, a child tax credit, and small business assistance. And he's okay with the fact that might irk some of the party's big money backers. Casar and others with the House Progressive Caucus says they will stop relying on election polling, some of which predicted wins last week. We will likely learn today if the New York State hush money verdict against Trump will stand or be thrown out. Gernald Scott of Fox News has more.
Judge Juan Merchan said today is when he will decide if President-elect Trump's sentencing on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records stays on track for November 26th, or does a Supreme Court immunity ruling covering acts while president mean the conviction will be thrown out or reversed on appeal. The president-elect denies any relationship with adult film actress Stormy Daniels. Payments made to her came before his first election, but repayments to ex-lawyer Michael Cohen were at times discussed in the Oval Office. New York prosecutors say the conviction covers personal conduct for which President-elect Trump is not immune. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
President Biden welcomes Israeli President Isaac Herzog to the White House today. The two leaders are expected to discuss the ongoing conflicts in Gaza and Lebanon. Their meeting comes as Israel faces a U.S.-imposed deadline this week to improve the humanitarian situation in Gaza or risk restrictions on further security assistance. The Allen man who murdered 23 people at an El Paso Walmart 5 years ago will now try to spare himself from the death penalty. LP Phillips reports.
Patrick Crucius is already serving 90 federal court life prison terms after admitting he drove to El Paso in August of 2019 and killed 23 Hispanics at the store. Now, District Attorney Bill Hicks is following through with a promise he made.
We are still going to be prosecuting the Walmart shooter. We are still going to be seeking the death penalty on the Walmart shooter.
To that end, the process of getting a jury to hear the death penalty case in state court begins. Hundreds of questionnaires will be filled out and analyzed by lawyers to come up with prospective jurors. Then in January, lawyers from the two sides will begin questioning individual prospective jurors.
Well, a couple of San Antonio-based companies are on a list of the nation's most military-friendly places to work. Military Friendly Magazine ranked USAA at number 42 out of 150 and added that USAA has been rated as a military-friendly employer for 22 years in a row. HEB is ranked at number 23, even though it only has employees in Texas and Mexico. Texas was listed as the top hiring region for veterans, with DFW alongside Atlanta and DC as the top three metro areas. It is 5:37 now with breaking crime news from around the country. Here's Nancy Grace. Traffic and weather together in a minute. But first, a check of your money in the world of business. We say good morning to Courtney Donahoe live at the Bloomberg News Desk. All right, thanks, Courtney. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Here's traffic and weather.
Stand by, Chris.
Okay.
Just for you, Sam.
Robbie Dupree on a Yacht Rock Tuesday.
Nobody plays Robbie Dupree.
I know. You just don't get enough Robbie Dupree these days, but you do on a Yacht Rock Tuesday on San Antonio's First News. That's Mr. T. Charity McCurdy's back. I'm Chris. Charlie in the next hour. EJ Pacheco and Andrew Zimmel playing you the Yacht Rock tunes this morning. And EJ has us up and running on YouTube, the YouTube stream. There's a live chat in there as well. Be sure to check it out. Look for 1200 WOAI on YouTube. Well, when you're on final approach to an airport, you don't like hearing the fuselage of your airplane being pinged by gunfire. That was the case on a Fort Lauderdale to Port-au-Prince, Haiti Spirit Airlines flight, which decided maybe we shouldn't land here. They were then diverted to Santiago in the Dominican Republic. The U.S. Embassy in Haiti has issued a security alert saying that, quote, the security situation in Haiti is unpredictable and dangerous, end quote. Here's aviation analyst John Cox.
The gunfire could have brought the airplane down. I mean, with if it hit the hydraulic systems, the pilots are going to begin to lose control of the airplane.
You know, we've had news reports about the lawlessness in Haiti, Charity, and I mean, they're going to have to stop flying airliners into that airport if this kind of thing keeps happening.
Yeah, this stems from the assassination of their president in 2021. You got armed groups there that are vying for control, and elections have been delayed. So the U.S. State Department is saying Americans do not go there, and there's essentially a gang-led effort to stop any travel to Haiti.
Yeah, that is just scary. And, one reason not to go to Haiti, I guess, is so because people are shooting at your plane when you land. But you heard that aviation expert say, all it did, if the bullets would have hit in a different part of that plane plane would have came down. And should you be telling people that in case these guys are listening and they want to hit the right part of the plane? I don't know.
That's a frightening thought. And there was a JetBlue Airlines flight from Haiti to New York City. It was found to be hit with at least one bullet when it landed at John F. Kennedy International Airport. But Charity, I think T makes a great point. If these gang members who are shooting at these airplanes realize, hey, if we can just hit the right hydraulic area on the aircraft, we can take it down. My God, how horrible would that be?
Yeah, and you got other airlines that are following suit. American Airlines is now suspending its services from Miami to Port-au-Prince. So I think you're going to have a lot of major airlines not planning to have any flights in that area as the civil unrest continues.
So what do you do if you're trying to get back home to Haiti? You got to fly someplace where you can get there by automobile or bus or train or
boat.
what? Yeah, a boat. Yeah, that's kind of screwed up.
It's very, very frightening.
Yeah.
And I mean, my God, and you mentioned, Charity, this has been going on for a number of years with the gangs and the lawlessness. And I got to imagine the economy there's just got to be a wreck.
Oh, absolutely. And it's only going to get worse until the situation gets under control. I don't know what it's going to take. I guess they're going to hold elections later on this year. I don't know if that's going to help, or maybe they'll be able to broker some kind of transitional government. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and if they hold elections and these gang members don't want, like, the elections the way they're going, they'll just hit the polling sites or wherever they have their elections at and try to just diffuse that all the way around.
And whoever is elected president in that country, good luck with the level of violence and lawlessness going on in that country. Lots coming up. We're going to hear from you before the top of the hour. Our talkback question. People are changing their Thanksgiving and holiday plans as a result of the election results because family members just can't get along at family gatherings. Any changes coming to your family gatherings? What is the dynamic in your family? Is it a mixed family, mixed politically? You can tell us about it. We'd love to hear about it. Coming up, though, we'll go back in time with Flashback. WOAI News Time 545.
And we're back.
Hey, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. I'm glad it went well yesterday, Eric.
That's so cool, Eric.
Yeah.
9 active military members
awesome.
received their citizenship.
That's awesome.
Very, very cool.
Wow, last night he did just over 20 portraits.
Outstanding.
That was very cool.
Way to go, Eric.
Every time you go away. And I love this story, if we can get to it sometime. It was a 4-year cruise.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the last thing I want to do is be on a boat for 4
my God.
years.
Yeah.
Ain't no freaking way. Wow. Do do ba do 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 do. Hey, one of the people at the New Braunfels Veterans Dinner last night told Eric, "Hey, I heard you on the radio.
Excellent.
You're a star now, man."
That's what we like to hear, that people are out there listening.
Amen. Mm. Yeah, the Brigadier General also heard it. Wow.
Cool.
Very cool. I still got that the wild story, Mattel. Wicked.com.
Mm-hmm.
I still got that audio from yesterday. Here we go. Stand by.
It is time to go back in time. But what year will we land in? See if you can figure it out, and we'll try to figure it out. Let's play Flashback. Ding.
Oof.
Oh, John Stamos on the drums. Well, this one's easy. It's an election year.
Yeah.
Any 88? Anybody disagree?
No.
Let's find out. 1988. I can't think of Michael Dukakis without seeing that tank at that ad with him in the tank looking like Alfred E. Newman with a helmet on. And that's my memory of him forever and ever.
I agree.
The power of a television commercial that he thought was cool.
I know. I know.
Oh my God. Charity McCurdy, what stories are you following?
President-elect Trump is reportedly set to tap Florida Senator Marco Rubio for the job as Secretary of State. A search is underway to replace the resigning Bexar County Elections Administrator, and SpaceX is revealing more details about its November 18th launch attempt. We'll have details right now, traffic and weather.
Partly cloudy, partly sunny today and tomorrow. Highs in the low to mid 80s today, mid 80s tomorrow, and then on Thursday, sunshine. Highs in the upper 70s. 63 degrees in Leon Valley, 61 in China Grove, and 62 here at the Radio Ranch. WOAI News Time, 5:52.
Meow. Should have been some meow sound effects. If I were the producer of Al Stewart's Year of the Cat, I'm no Phil Spector, but I would have put some cat sound effects. Would have been a great Catterday song.
Maybe had Peter Criss on the drums. It would have been great.
Yes. Come on. It's a Yacht Rock Tuesday. God help us. That is Mr. T. She's Charity. I'm Chris. Charlie in the next hour with Those Were the Days. He'll join us in studio at 7:50. And we are asking you on the free iHeartRadio app, our talkback question. Apparently it's a thing across the country. People altering their Thanksgiving and holiday plans because families are not on the same political page and things could get ugly. So we want to ask you, what's going to happen in your home or where you are going for Thanksgiving and the holidays? Changing anything? Do you get along? What's it like in your family? Charity, how do they get us that information?
The free iHeartRadio app, you launch it, search 1200 WOAI, look for that red circle. That's the talkback button. Once you hit it, 30 seconds to sound off.
And they'll sound like this.
Hey guys, Stephen from Lotto. We had a falling out with a cousin a few years ago. She invited us to dinner and said there'll be no talk of politics, no talk of anything controversial because she has very different views than we do. But we eventually came back together. Nothing like that has happened this year. Hey, do y'all know why the cranberry blushed? It's all the turkey dressing. And if the Pilgrims came over on the Mayflower, what do college students travel on? Scholarships.
He's on fire. Stephen from Lytle, sponsored by the LOL Comedy Club. Actually, no, but they should.
They should. If
We
they were
should
smart, they
get
would.
him a
yes.
comedy sponsor.
We should.
Yeah.
All right, here's another one.
Good morning. As far as staying away from political discussions this Thanksgiving, a tradition that we've had for years is to write down questions, fun questions on paper and put them in a dish. Everybody takes turns pulling one out. Like, what's the best movie you saw this year? What's the best book you've read? What are you most grateful for? Where have you traveled? Things like that. It stays away from politics mostly.
See, I could be, who did you vote for?
See, you would stick some rogue questions into that bowl.
I mean, I'm not saying I like to, cheer on the arguments,
Yeah.
but sometimes it is fun.
Instigator.
A little bit.
That was our good friend Kemper, by the way.
Yeah, a little bit.
Kemper is right now in the chat on YouTube watching the YouTube stream, and she was saying that she had like a voice issue.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
She's sounding much better
Yeah,
today.
much better. She's back to normal.
Very good.
Yeah, allergies, Charity. She apparently, was suffering yesterday.
I can relate. Yeah, there's definitely something in the air because the temperature won't decide what it wants to be. So that doesn't help. Yeah.
One day, one hour it's winter, next hour it's summer again. It's it's confusing. All right, let's head out to East Texas.
Morning, y'all. Bill from East Texas. On my way back after successfully babysitting my grandson. Politics, football, health, colleges, neighbor's yard. People are going to argue about anything. So I say, get it out in the open, get it over with, and move on. Have a great day.
It's actually a good idea.
And if you're listening, you might learn something from the other side during those family discussions, heated discussions, because you're probably more inclined to talk about the issues, go a little deeper with family versus maybe friends or coworkers. I think it's a good learning opportunity, quite honestly.
Yeah, well, and I kind of like what he says, just get it out there. So why not, when you get there, set up 30 minutes, put a timer and say, let's get it all out right now. Let's all get it out, argue right now. When the timer goes off, we're done. We don't talk about it anymore.
I like it.
That's not a bad idea.
And I think, everybody talks about the old metaphor, the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
You got to talk about it. And if you're a fan, and again, I think that, movements in America start in the home and start with the families. And I think we got to talk again. And I think I always go back and I mention how Ronald Reagan used to have dinner with Tip O'Neill.
Yeah.
Reagan was the president. Tip O'Neill was the Speaker of the House and very Democrat and very opposite of Ronald Reagan. And they were friends still. It's like, you know what? I really disagree with you, but you're my friend.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it and then let's
family,
move on.
Your family.
And I just wonder if it's better to have the discussion without alcohol, or does alcohol help? I don't know. I don't know.
Alcohol, yes. Firearms, no.
Yes. I agree with that. Go ahead and check your guns at the door.
Yes.
In here.
We'll lock them up until after Thanksgiving.
And the cell phones.
Oh, yeah. We don't need that, do we?
Lots more coming. Big 6 o'clock hour coming your way as well. We'll continue to get those talkbacks. Charity has all the big stories you need to know about coming up at the top of the hour. WOAI News Time, 5:57.
Hey, everybody.
Kemper, outstanding as always.
Always.
Great talk back. Kemper, Tim in the Philippines, Eric, Travis, Rooster in the morning.
Says a cock-a-doodle-doo.
Tommy Miller, Steve Duraco, the original Rock, Tracy Bogert in the Witness Protection Program.
So, Eric, is it true that you were actually signing autographs in the lobby last night at the New Braunfels
Very nice.
dinner?
So we're going to stick with Biden there?
It's your call if you want to.
Sure. Do we have audio of him?
Yes.
Okay,
I
perfect.
do.
Let's do that.
Yes, I do. And that could lead us back into Thanksgiving because he's calling for us to get along.
Yeah. Still Wednesdays, their meeting?
Yes.
Trump and Biden?
Yes. Although Melania will not be attending.
Oh, no.
Good morning, Bob.
Bob Beavers, good morning.
Good morning, Bob.
Excuse me.
By the way, hang on, people. All right, we're back.
We'll
Sorry.
be fine. Eric did not have time for autographs.
That's right. That's the best way to be, Eric. No time for autographs, man.
That's what Tommy Lee Jones said.
Yeah.
I don't have
but
time
not,
for autographs.
not that nicely.
No.
I don't got no time for no damn autographs. Leave
Get
me
away
alone.
from me.
Leave me alone. He's too loud.
I want him removed from this sushi restaurant immediately.
Because he's too loud.
Let's see. 610.
I have audio, right?
Okay.
Yeah. All right, here comes Charity McCurdy, everybody.
Six o'clock is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Tuesday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, more Trump cabinet picks and another nonstop flight is coming to San Antonio. We'll have more right now. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. And your Weather Channel forecast for this Tuesday, partly cloudy, a high near 85, tonight's low near 60. President-elect Trump is reportedly choosing Florida Senator Marco Rubio as his Secretary of State. Fox's Aisha Hasney in West Palm Beach has more about the president-elect's cabinet picks.
It comes as Florida Congressman and China hawk Mike Waltz has been named as White House National Security Advisor. He was a huge surrogate for Trump on the trail. And former New York Congressman Lee Zeldin heads the EPA, and Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has been tapped to be the next U.S. ambassador to the UN. Former senior advisor Stephen Miller has been named Deputy Chief of Staff, and former acting ICE Director Tom Homan taking this newly created role of border czar and vowing to pursue all of Trump's policies, including that mass deportation plan.
And when asked about giving migrants an opportunity to apply for legal citizenship after being in the country illegally, Homan responded on Fox's Hannity.
Criminals and gang members get no grace period. But while we're out prioritizing the public safety threats and national security threats, if you want to self-deport, you should self-deport because, again, we know who you are, and we're going to come and find you.
And Trump may be softening his plans for mass deportations with some of his surrogates, suggesting that they will instead focus on illegal immigrants who commit crimes. Civil rights groups think there's been pressure from parts of the business community that rely on cheap labor.
Him being a business person, having hotels, golf courses, hospitality, 1 in 14 workers would be deported.
Ray Mancera of El Paso is with the Latino rights group LULAC. He says they support the deportation of criminals, and they're telling migrant communities to stay out of trouble during the Trump administration. Republican Senate leadership has an open seat as the party's current leader, Mitch McConnell, plans to step down this month. Florida Senator Rick Scott is running for the position, and he tells Fox News he's confident he will win.
I ran against McConnell 2 years ago. We're going to win because I've talked to my colleagues. They want change. They want to be treated like real senators. They want to have an agenda. They want to get something accomplished. They want to go home. When we go home on a Friday, they want to say, I busted my butt and something good happened.
Other candidates in the race include Senator John Thune and Senator John Cornyn. The state Supreme Court is another success story for Texas Republicans following the election. 3 GOP justices were reelected by the largest margins in years. Justices Jimmy Blacklock, Jane Bland, and John Devine topped their Democratic challengers by at least 15 percentage points. These are considerably wider margins of victory than in recent previous elections. The 3 justices' rulings in recent abortion cases did not alter the outcome. No Democrat has been elected to the 9-member court in nearly 28 years. And last week's election disaster had some Democrats talking about rebuilding the party.
The Democratic Party's response, I think, has to very clearly be for working people as the core of who it is that we are.
San Antonio Congressman Greg Casar says that Democrats should be talking about issues like rent relief, child tax credit, and small business assistance. And he's okay with the fact that might irk some of the party's big money backers. Casar and others with the House Progressive Caucus say they will stop relying on election polling, some of which predicted wins last week. Well, the Help Wanted sign is out at the Bexar County Elections Department. Eric Lycum has more.
It's the end of an era. After 19 years, Bexar County Elections Coordinator Jackie Callanan is stepping down. She announced her resignation in June during a meeting of the Election Commission amid several accusations of no transparency in her department. On Friday, the Election Commission announced it had retained Robert Half Executive Search Services to scour the nation to find a replacement for Callanan. They expect the search to be completed in 90 days. Callanan's last day is coming up in January. Eric Lycum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
SpaceX is releasing more details about its planned Starship launch attempt next Monday. The company hopes a later 4 p.m. launch will provide a better look at the prototype as it re-enters the atmosphere over the Indian Ocean. The Super Heavy booster will also return to the launch pad for a second test of the tower's booster capture system. Other goals include reigniting a Raptor engine while in space, heat shield experiments, and maneuvering changes for re-entry and descent. And nonstop air service is now available between San Antonio and Boston. Delta Airlines launched its inaugural flight from San Antonio to Boston yesterday afternoon. A spokesperson for the Atlanta-based carrier said the flight indicates the airline's expanding commitment to Texas. Data shows San Antonio's airport is handling more arrivals and departures than ever before. It is 6:06. The Spurs beat the Sacramento Kings at home last night. The voice of the Spurs, Bill Schoening, has more in today's Spurs report.
Good morning, Lucinda, Tommy, Bob, Rooster, Tim from the Philippines, Travis, Tracy Bogert in the Witness Protection Program.
Yeah, you never make a mistake, do you, Andrew?
What's his deal now? Mike's.
Yeah, I don't really care anymore.
San Antonio's first news on a yacht rock Tuesday, 1 week removed from the 2024 election as the Trump transition team beginning to put together the cabinet and staff. Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman, Charlie Parker. With those were the days at 6:48. He will join us in studio at 7:50 this morning. We've got EJ Pacheco and Andrew Zimmel doing the heavy lifting, flying the Millennium Falcon. Andrew's got us up and running on YouTube. If you want to watch, and you can participate in the chat on the YouTube broadcast, go look for 1200 WOAI on YouTube. Well, coming up, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris observed Veterans Day at Arlington National Cemetery, and the president called on America to come together. We'll hear from him and talk about that coming right up. But first, your traffic and weather together.
Partly cloudy, partly sunny today and tomorrow. Highs in low to mid 80s today, mid 80s tomorrow. Thursday, sunshine, highs in the upper 70s. 61 degrees in New Braunfels, Texas. 63 at Lackland Air Force Base, and 62 right here at the Radio Ranch. WOAI News Time, 612.
San Antonio's first news on a yacht rock Tuesday. Lots coming at you in the 6 o'clock hour. And yesterday, as I mentioned, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris observed Veterans Day at Arlington National Cemetery. They participated in a full honor wreath laying at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And then President Joe Biden made remarks at the Memorial Amphitheater.
This is the moment to come together as a nation. Keep faith in each other. The world is dependent on each of you and all of us. Keep striving to heal our nation's wounds.
I do agree, Charity. It's time for our nation to come together after an election like this. I think we always should. And I think, things were so divisive heading into this election that, I got to give a little props there to Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris for, I believe, taking the right tone right now.
Yeah, I mean, unity, it needs to be the focus as we transition to the Trump presidency. And President Biden, at the age of 81, it must have been surreal for him. It's going to be his last time celebrating, recognizing Veterans Day as the president of the United States. And he got visibly emotional during that performance while he was singing God Bless America. And, your heart can't help but go out to him because it's got to be a surreal moment for him. Obviously, the outcome of the election was not what he was hoping for, but the message is important, the one that he's pushing, and that is to strive to heal our nation's wounds.
And unity is a good thing to have for Thanksgiving with your family. Call for unity together where we can get past this, the divide that's going on in families, in the country, and let's be Americans first.
Amen. I mean, for us to succeed and thrive at the highest level, you look throughout American history when we've accomplished great things, either economically or going to the moon or winning wars that had to be won. We did it when we came together for the good of the country. And I think it's time to do that. And, any Democrat, and in this case, the two leaders of the party, the outgoing President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who was their nominee, they need to, at this time, lead the way. And that's what they said yesterday. They called for unity.
Hopefully it continues.
Yeah, let's get, like I said, bring it into your family. Let's work it out like that for Thanksgiving. Get everybody on the same page, and you won't have to change any plans.
Too bad, Thanksgiving doesn't happen before the election.
Yeah,
just so you
nice,
can kind of get it
it
out of your system. You're just too exhausted to, be anxious about the election outcome. But that's not the way it works, I guess.
No, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately.
So true. Speaking of Thanksgiving, coming up, we're going to hear from you, your talkbacks. It's a thing. There are people out there, it's in the news, who are altering their Thanksgiving and holiday plans because of angst over this election result. So we're asking you about your family, how you're going to handle it, how you think the rest of us should handle it. That and more coming up. We'll get you caught up on headlines, traffic, weather, and more. WOAI News Time 616.
And we're back.
Woohoo!
All right. Traffic sucks everywhere right now, Rooster.
Mm-hmm.
I have one talkback,
Okay.
so we can riff on it if you want.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, my family used to do it, and we haven't done it in a long time, but, especially since my dad died. We used to always have airmen from Lackland over.
Oh, that's cool.
On Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, of course, the joke was as soon as they walked in, all right, so I'm going to need you to mow the grass. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. People don't use that word abysmal very much anymore,
Yeah.
Travis, and I really appreciate it. It's a good word. What other words do we need to use more of? Let's see. No, not hubbub. Abysmal, I like. Shenanigans. We need to use shenanigans more,
True.
Chris. We don't use it enough. No. Yeah, unprecedented. Yeah, we use that a lot, though. You're right. We could use it a lot less, Bob. I agree. Is it okay if I call you Bob?
Tim is in the Philippines.
Wow.
He says the typhoon is now in the West Philippine Sea.
Another one coming on
Yikes.
the same track. Jeez. Bob, Bill, I mean, come on, really? God. Stand by.
Okay.
Just for you, Sam.
Just ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather together on this Yacht Rock Tuesday. Then we'll hear from you on our talkback feature on the free iHeart Radio app. But first, Charity McCurdy, what stories are you following?
We'll have the latest information on President-elect Trump's cabinet picks. Spirit Airlines, American Airlines, and JetBlue are suspending flights to Haiti after a Spirit plane was hit by gunfire, and a man is in custody accused of murdering his girlfriend's father outside a Northside restaurant. We'll have details right now, traffic and weather.
Partly cloudy, partly sunny today and tomorrow. Highs in the low to mid 80s today, mid 80s tomorrow. It's Thursday, sunshine, highs in the upper 70s. 63 degrees in Alamo Ranch, 63 in Monte Vista, and 62 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 621.
In the Stone Oak?
Yeah, I know.
I kind of like it.
The
It
Stone
could be
Oak.
a new thing.
It's like the Stone
Yeah,
Age,
man.
but it's the Stone Oak.
We're in the Stone Oak, baby.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's dark outside.
Ride, Captain, ride. It's a Yacht Rock Tuesday. Mr. T, Charity McCurdy, Charlie Parker coming up shortly with Those Were the Days. That'll be at 6:48. Charlie will join us in studio at 7:50. Lots to talk about with Charlie. And I wonder if he'll mention, you notice the Dallas Cowboys not exactly playing great football lately.
No. They need to just lose the rest of their games.
Well, and Charlie, like me, I mean, I've designated the date. I'm giving up on the Cowboys completely next Monday night when they play the Texans. I figure that's a good time for me to jump off the Cowboys horse and jump onto the Houston Texans horse. So I'm going to do that.
It's not their fault. Just, the sun's in their eyes. You got to.
Yeah. Come on.
Thanks.
Come
It's
on.
so
You wanna
typical.
tear down the stadium and build a new one?
Might as well.
Face it the right way. Curtains would be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, there are curtains.
Yeah, nice, stylish Jerry Jones curtains. Very,
Some
very
Miller
nice.
Lite logo on it.
I have a feeling we'll get into that. What we do want to do is hear from you, though, this morning. There's it's in the news. It's a thing across America. People are concerned about their Thanksgiving family gathering and the holidays, and some are even opting out. Some are even saying, I'm not going to go gather with my family because I know it's going to be ugly because it's a mixed family politically. So we're asking you on the Talkback feature, what's the situation in your family? How are you going to handle it? Are you going to change anything? Do you have any recommendations for the rest of us? Charity, how do they get us that information?
The free iHeartRadio app, you launch it, search 1200 WOAI, look for the red circle, and that's the talkback button. Once you hit it, 30 seconds to sound off.
And you'll sound like RK.
RK here. Well, my family's the WOAI family, Crystal, Mr. T. And although me and Charity don't agree on anything except politics, we're good.
Oh, really?
Everybody have a beautiful fat ass Christmas turkey day, Thanksgiving. Goodbye, y'all.
I'm curious to know what we don't agree on, RK,
Well, it's
aside
nice
from
to know.
politics.
It's nice to know you and RK are in accord when it comes to politics.
It's coming to me, Chris. I think I've made statements about the safety of riding on motorcycles. I think that probably hit a sore spot with RK. Well, because I had a friend that lost his life in a motorcycle accident. He hit debris in the roadway and lost his life and left behind a wife and two little girls. So it's a sensitive subject for me, and I'm just worried about RK's safety. I was just throwing it out there.
RK rides a Harley. I also lost a friend. I've lost two friends on motorcycles. One when I was very young and he was 19 and he wasn't wearing a helmet. And then very, very sadly, I think about 5 years ago, a friend of mine, he loved riding motorcycles out in the country and he wore a helmet. He did everything right. Yeah. And he hit a patch of gravel as he was accelerating, and the motorcycle went backwards, and he hit his head with a helmet on the pavement, and he died.
Yeah.
So I mean,
a helmet does help.
It does help, but
it's not
a guarantee.
No.
So we love RK though, man.
Yeah, we do.
All right, RK, thanks for that. I'd like to break bread with RK at a Thanksgiving dinner table with Charity and Mr. T, EJ, Andrew, and Charlie Parker.
There's our
That's
Thanksgiving
family.
plans right there. We do it here at the station.
It needs to be an early Thanksgiving then, because I'll be in San Diego the week of. So
cancel your plan, just like everybody else.
Really,
Cancel
you
your plan.
can get a refund. Come on,
that would be with my real family. I can't make it to San Diego this year. Very nice. We'll work on that.
Okay.
Lots more coming up. Charity has all the big stories you need to know at the bottom of the hour. Charlie Parker at 6:48 with Those Were the Days. WOAI News Time 6:26. Yeah, Tommy, I haven't done that, but that's a great idea. I should post them. I guess we could do that at WOAI.com. Yeah.
Sure.
And I think, Tommy, obviously we got some with you. I need to get those to you as well.
Good morning, everybody. Connie, Tommy, Tim, Eric, Travis, Joe. Lucinda was in here earlier. Don't know if Rooster's still around. Bob's still there. He's jumping on the bandwagon with you.
Bob, it's time, man. I've given the Cowboys so many chances. Where did that go?
Oh. Yeah, that is good news, Tommy. Great news about your grandson. Yeah, looks like he's still out, Rooster. And don't know what's going on, but Pop wasn't there last night. I imagine he's still out. Don't know what's going on, though. If it was something really, really serious, we would probably heard about it by now, right?
not. Unless
I know. Yeah,
really,
well,
really serious. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
And I don't know. I've had a
honestly
lot of
don't
people.
know, yeah.
There it is. I've had a lot of people asking me if I knew, because we're the Spurs flagship station. We don't.
No.
Spurs are
Hey,
being
look,
very
if John
tight-lipped.
Harris doesn't know, nobody knows. We'll ask Charlie when he comes in if he knows. Which, by the way, I'm surprised he's not here yet.
And that ties into what is the Bear?
Yeah.
Because he's trying to make it a great restaurant,
Yeah.
get a Michelin star.
There you go.
So, such a good show.
Yeah, it is. Oh,
Okay, if you were, what is the best restaurant in San Antonio? You're going to award.
ooh, man. Wow. I like the silo.
Yeah.
Silo's very good.
Tommy Lee Jones likes silo.
Oh, well, never mind then. Way to kill it for me, man.
I've heard that he's a regular there. Let me see if I can find I'm just going to Google best restaurants in San Antonio. Yeah. Okay, best restaurant.
See, if it's up to me and it doesn't have to be fancy, I'm going to go with La Hacienda de los Barrios
Hey,
right here on
hey.
Redland Road.
Hey, that's a good answer.
All right, here comes Charity, everybody.
.32 is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Tuesday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, Trump continues to build his cabinet and the soul searching continues within the Democratic Party. We'll have more right now. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your weather forecast for this Tuesday, partly cloudy, a high near 85. Tonight's low near 60, right now 66 degrees. President-elect Trump continues building up his cabinet as he transitions back into the White House. Here's Fox's Brooke Singman with more.
Governor Kristi Noem could reportedly be named Secretary of Homeland Security, which has oversight of everything from Customs and Border Patrol to FEMA and the Secret Service. Trump is also expected to nominate Florida Senator Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. The president could still change his mind here, but right now, a source tells us he is planning to offer Rubio the job. And if he does, Rubio would be the first Hispanic Secretary of State in U.S. history. Sources also tell us Trump has also offered Florida Congressman Mike Waltz the role of White House National Security Advisor. The three-term Republican congressman was the first Green Beret ever elected to the House.
And Republican Senate leadership has an open seat as the party's current leader, Mitch McConnell, plans to step down. Florida Senator Rick Scott tells Fox's Hannity he wants President-elect Trump's agenda to be implemented as soon as possible.
The Democratic Party's response, I think, has to vary.
I want the Donald Trump agenda implemented. I want his nominees confirmed as quickly as we can get those nominees confirmed so we can get to work.
And other candidates in the race include Senator John Thune and Senator John Cornyn. Republicans are just a few seats away from keeping control of the House as the vote counting rolls on. A win for Republicans would give President-elect Trump an easier path to enact his policies now that the Senate is under GOP control. As of now, Republicans need to win just 3 more seats to gain control, while Democrats need 12 to keep control. And last week's election disaster has some Democrats talking about rebuilding the party.
The Democratic Party's response, I think, has to very clearly be for working people as the core of who it is that we are.
San Antonio Congressman Greg Casar says that Democrats should be talking about issues like rent relief, a child tax credit, and small business assistance. And he's okay with the fact that that might irk some of the party's big money backers. Casar and others within the House Progressive Caucus say they will stop relying on election polling, some of which predicted wins last week. A Spirit Airlines aircraft was struck by gunfire while en route to Port-au-Prince in Haiti, leading to the airline to place a temporary hold on flights to the destination. Here's Fox's Jonathan Siri.
The plane diverted to the neighboring Dominican Republic, where it landed safely at STI Airport in Santiago. A Spirit Airlines statement says an inspection revealed evidence of damage to the aircraft consistent with gunfire. One flight attendant on board reported minor injuries. No guest injuries were reported. The State Department issued a security alert stating that the U.S. Embassy in Port-au-Prince is aware of gang-led efforts to block travel to and from Port-au-Prince, which may include armed violence and disruptions to roads, ports, and airports. The statement goes on to advise, do not travel to Haiti.
The incident coincides with the recent dismissal of Haiti's acting prime minister. A man is in custody accused of murdering his girlfriend's father. San Antonio police arrested Franco Summers Sunday afternoon. He's charged with murder, assault of a family member, evading arrest, and failure to stop and give information. Officers responded around 12:15 a.m. Saturday to the shooting outside a Taco Palenque restaurant on Blanco Road near North Loop 1604. Summers reportedly shot Christopher Fuentes from a car in the parking lot and then drove away. Fuentes died at the scene. The Spurs took control in the second half of their 116-96 win over the Sacramento Kings at the Frost Bank Center last night. Spurs interim head coach Mitch Johnson says that his team did a great job slowing down a high-powered offense.
Fox's tempo and pace is ridiculous. He can create shots out of nothing. He's surrounded by a bunch of shooters. Sabonis is obviously a load. So it's a tough team to think you're going to continue to get stops. We did a really good job in the third quarter setting the tone.
Up next, the Spurs host the Washington Wizards tomorrow night. You can catch all the action right here. It is 6:37. Traffic and weather together in a minute. But first, a check of your money in the world of business. Courtney Donahoe is live at the Bloomberg News Desk. Thanks, Courtney. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Here's traffic and weather.
San Antonio's first news on a Yacht Rock Tuesday. And we not only enjoy the Yacht Rock, but Charity and Mr. T, we should have a river parade.
Okay.
Seriously, because now San Antonio has entered the ranks of the world's elite restaurant cities. But until now, we got great restaurants in San Antonio, but never have we had a restaurant in this town with a Michelin star.
Ooh.
Until now, the progressive Mexican restaurant in Southtown, Mixedly, receives a Michelin star. You know, one of my favorite TV shows is The Bear.
Love it.
And they're just working in that restaurant, trying to get recognition, maybe trying to get a Michelin star. Now, Charity, I've never eaten at Mixedly because it's very elite, very high end. I imagine you've been there many, many times.
I have not, but it's on my radar. I mean, the cuisine looks more like artwork, but it obviously has to be extremely tasty to earn that highly coveted award. I got to check it out.
It's a progressive Mexican restaurant. I don't know what that means.
Progressive means the left leaning, I think.
Oh, okay.
So there must be some Kamala Harris signs in there if they're progressive. Maybe not. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Progressive Mexican. I don't know, and I have not been. It sounds amazing. Apparently, Michelin, for the first time ever, is now highlighting Texas cities. And apparently, Austin and Houston were the biggest winners. Austin had 7 one-star ratings. Houston had 6. Dallas only 1, just like San Antonio. So apparently Dallas and San Antonio don't have that elite scene at restaurants that Austin and Houston do.
I don't think they're looking hard enough. I mean, did they really try every single restaurant in San Antonio to come to the decision? I don't think so.
Yeah,
great point.
There's no possible way. There's
Well,
no possible
and I
way.
was trying to think. I was talking to Mr. T off the air, Charity, and I Googled best restaurants in San Antonio according to TripAdvisor. Number 1 is Watson, which I've not been to.
I've only been to the Sherlock Holmes. I've never been to Watson.
Number 2, Brenner's on the Riverwalk. I haven't been there.
Nope.
It's a steakhouse. Number 3, Santa Diabla Cocina Mexicana. I've not been there. Apparently I don't get out much.
Yeah.
Number 4, Bliss.
Yeah.
And number 5, Domingo Restaurant. Charity, I assume you go to
all of those,
these.
yes. Or they cater your events at home.
The only one that I want to go to that you mentioned is Bliss. I know Coach Pop. That's a favorite for him. But yeah, no, all those restaurants you mentioned, I've either not heard of or just haven't been there yet.
So I'm wondering how long until La Hacienda de los Barrios on Redland Road gets their Michelin star.
Yes, Charity, I demand a recap from Michelin.
Yeah.
I say the best Mexican restaurant, not Mixedly. It's La Hacienda de los Barrios.
I'm telling you, those margaritas, those empanadas.
Yes, the music.
Maybe we should give them their own San Antonio's first new star.
Yeah, see? we don't need no stinking Michelin.
Yeah, I drive Michelin tires,
we give
but
our
that's
own
it.
star.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, in fact, we give La Hacienda 2 stars.
3 stars.
Yeah, you got 1-star Michelin. Here's 3. 1 from Charity, 1 from Mr. T, and 1 from me.
Why don't we just go 3 jalapenos? You know, I mean, why use stars? You know,
That's a good point.
I like it.
3 tortillas. Yeah, we
Jalapenos.
could do that. Yeah.
We might have to do a tour of Mexican restaurants in San Antonio and see if anybody can compare.
We tried and we never got out of La Hacienda de los Barrios. So that's just how it goes, man.
When I find something I like, I stick with it. So why would I go somewhere else? Anyway, congratulations, Mixedly. I hope that they will roll out the red carpet for Charity McCurdy whenever and no reservations for Charity. They need to say, oh
no, she has her own table.
Oh, Miss McCurdy, yes.
When she walks in, they go, Charity.
Yes.
Yeah.
You may want to get one of those. I wonder if they have a table in the kitchen like they do on
The
Bear.
They should, yes. Chef's table.
You guys are delusional, but I love it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Coming up. And we'll have to ask Charlie Parker his favorite restaurant when he comes in. He's in the building.
Yeah, we saw him walk in.
We'll see him at 7:50. But coming up, Charlie Parker with Those Were the Days. WOAI News Time 6:45.
We're back.
Mixedly.
Yeah. It's just
progressive.
It's too hard to say, man. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, your name is.
Yeah, you got to come up with an easier name. We will tell you this just because you're on the chat right here. We love Taco Palenque. Just don't go there before 11 o'clock if you're looking for a beer because they will not serve you.
Yeah, yesterday after the show, Mr. T and I decided to have a high-level conclave to talk about show stuff. So we go to Taco Palenque, which I love.
Yeah, love it.
And what was it, about 9:15
Yeah,
a.m.?
9:15, yeah.
And I don't see any beers there in the cooler like you often do. I say, are you serving beer yet? And she, oh, no.
Not till 11.
Not till 11.
So, being the good guys that we are, we just immediately walked out and went to Taco Cabana next door.
Which is right next door. Are you serving beer this morning? Yes, we are.
We'll serve you anything you want, sir.
Yeah. God bless Taco Cabana.
Yeah.
I award one jalapeno.
Yeah.
To Taco Cabana for their beer sales.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. It was after 7:30. Legally, they could have sold us anything they wanted to, but hey.
Now, I had beer. Mr. T went a little more upscale, had a margarita or two.
Yes.
So.
Yes, I did. But I did chase it down with a little Perrier, Chris.
Yeah. In honor of Charity.
Yeah, since Charity was off yesterday.
Charity was off yesterday, so we remembered her with some Perrier.
Yes, absurd yet flaccid. Baby, come back. All right, so I got a few talkbacks we can get through.
Beautiful.
And Bill, it sounds to me like you've got the Mary Poppins family. It's practically perfect in every way.
According to the Express News, while this week's cold front will usher in more fall-appropriate temperatures, next week's stronger cold front may offer some winter-like chills.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Well, that's what we can talk about after the talkbacks if you want.
Sure.
Because I don't like hearing that, Chris.
No.
To be honest with you. Anything that says cold, I am not about. I'll tell you that right now, sir.
Let me look at the 10-day.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up the Weather Channel right now. Let's see how different it is from this zip code to yours.
Mine will be, as always, completely different from yours.
Which is
it's
so
63
weird.
in Von Ormy right now, 46 in Eugene, Oregon.
Well, that's important.
For some reason, those are, I must have used this when I went to Eugene, so that's up on my Weather Channel. 10-day forecast. San Antonio.
Oh, hang on, I got mine open. Hang on. Okay.
44 next Wednesday, 43 next Thursday. 44 and wow, high Thursday 61.
Really?
Thursday of next week.
21st?
Thursday the 21st.
I got 64 and 45.
I got 64 and 44 on Friday.
I got 67 and 46 on Friday.
Crazy.
We are, far apart here.
We're at least 4 feet apart.
Yes. Because I got, what do you have for Thursday the 14th?
Thursday the 14th. Wow. High 77, low 47.
Okay, I got 79, 49.
Okay. It's weird.
What about the next day, Friday?
Friday the 15th, high 76, low 52.
Okay, I got 79, 54.
So weird.
Well, there is that,
Yeah.
We are a little farther apart than most people.
Well, car narrowly misses Arizona toddler.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw this earlier. Look at this. Watch, this guy has to swerve right here. Watch. If he doesn't swerve, he hits it. Where are the parents, for God's sakes?
Wow.
That's bizarre, dude. Mother of 2 arrested. Okay, good.
Good, yeah.
Good. Throw the book at her. Put her in jail. Make her stand out in traffic and wearing all black at night. Whoa. Oh, look. 2 more coming in. Okay.
Woo.
But maybe not. So Steven again. Okay, what do we got here, people? Okay. All right, Stephen. Okay.
Is he back?
Yeah. He's like, hi, guys. Stephen again. I was listening to your comments off the air about the cold front. Y'all hush up about not liking cold weather. Put on a jacket.
Hey, man. I'm not built for it, Stephen. I am built for
I'm from
endless
South
summer.
Texas.
I am built for 80 and sunny and a pool.
President-elect Trump is reportedly expected to name Florida Senator Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. Republicans are just a few seats away from keeping control of the House as the vote counting rolls on. And a couple of San Antonio-based companies have been ranked as military-friendly employers. We'll have details right now, traffic and weather.
Partly cloudy, partly sunny today and tomorrow. Highs in the low to mid 80s today, mid 80s tomorrow. Thursday, sunshine, highs in the upper 70s. 65 degrees at the Pearl, 65 in Leon Valley, and 63 here at the Radio Ranch. WOAI News Time, 6:53.
San Antonio's first news on a Yacht Rock Tuesday. Our thanks to Charlie Parker for those were the days. Charlie going to join us in studio at 7:50. You don't want to miss that. Less than an hour from now. And we've been asking you, based upon what is actually in the news, more and more Americans changing their plans for Thanksgiving and the holidays because of the election results and because of political differences in their families. We're asking you, what's the deal? What's going on in your household with regard to the holidays and political talk? Any recommendations for the rest of us? We're hearing from you on the free iHeart Radio app on the Talkback feature. Search for 1200 WOAI. You can find it. Talk back to us. Mr. T, we got a bunch.
Here's number one.
Well, I don't have to worry about a mixed family. My whole family and extended family supports Trump. So we don't have anything to argue about except to laugh about the liberal tears. They're all coming to my house and I'm cooking. So that's about it.
Okay.
Wonder if he's going to baste the turkey with liberal tears. I wonder if that's
too salty.
Yeah, Dad, this is a little salty. No, those are liberal tears, son.
All right, here we go.
Good morning, San Antonio First News team. Man, if politics is driving your family discussion, you're probably a little bit disjointed. With 5 boys, 4 of them married, we have more than plenty to talk and laugh about for things that happened throughout the year, plus their war stories. This year, however, since we're only going to have 2 with us, We're going to head on down to Boudreaux's on the Riverwalk. Let them do the cooking and the dishes, and then head on to Dirty Nelly's. You just have a little singing song time. Y'all have a good day.
I like the Dirty Nelly's part.
I like the whole thing. That sounds Boudreaux's, man.
Yeah,
that sounds
that's
like
true.
a great plan.
Yeah.
Having like 20s flashbacks, those were the hot spots. Yeah.
All right, here's another one.
Hey, gang, this is Michael up in Central Arkansas. There's 3 rules at our Thanksgiving table every year. Number 1, you don't complain about any of the food. Number 2, you take at least 1 bite of green bean casserole, whether you want it or not, and you don't talk politics. Those are our rules. Y'all have a good day.
Yeah, I can't do the green bean casserole thing.
I actually like green bean casserole. but
Okay,
that's
me
just
too. Thank you. I was
Yeah.
afraid to speak up.
I was wondering who it was. Yeah.
You can pass your share right over to me, and I'll be happy with it. And maybe that's you set some ground
I
rules.
like the
and
rules,
say,
yeah.
Those are pretty good rules.
Again, it's just such a big topic, this it seems like for years now, especially this past month. How can you avoid it, especially once the wine starts flowing? I think that's
Yes.
going to be hard
Well,
to do.
Yeah, we have a rule at ours: no whining. So
What about beering? Can you do
beering
okay,
all the
okay,
time.
okay.
Yeah, beering,
Beer,
whiskeying.
wine, margarita, tequila shots, all of the above.
All right, here's somebody that was listening to us on the YouTube chat that's going to take me and Chris on here real quick. Well, it's Stephen and Lytle, of course.
Hey guys, Steve from Lytle again. I was listening to your comments off the air about the cold front. Y'all hush about not liking the cold weather. Put on a jacket. I'm tired of it being in the 80s in November and high humidity. Oh my goodness. Man, I didn't know I felt so passionately about this. Oh well. Anyway, I had to say that y'all are my favorite radio people. So don't think I'm knocking that. Have a good day.
Yeah. So Charity, during the break, I
Yeah.
got an alert from the San Antonio Express News, and the alert says, while this week's cold front will usher in more fall appropriate temperatures, next week's stronger cold front may offer some winter-like chills. So that's I don't need to hear that in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
a week from now, it's going
Yeah.
to be even colder than it's going to get on Thursday this week.
Yeah, let me provide some details, Chris. Next Tuesday, the high only 70. Wednesday's high at this point forecasted to be around 66 degrees.
Wow. The high. That's now.
yeah.
If that's the low, it's a little too low for me.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
agree.
the high. So we're gonna be in the low 40s then for the lows. What's going on?
On Tuesday, the lows will be in the upper 50s. Wednesday of next week, the lows mid 40s.
Oh, come on.
Okay, I'm gonna be
Come on.
swearing and whining on that day.
Sweater weather.
220 days, Chris. 220
Yeah, how
days.
long till summer?
220 days. That's all we got to think about.
First day of
220
summer,
days.
yeah.
We'll start counting the days.
Mhm.
Come on, man. I'm not ready for winter.
I've been ready. I mean, not winter, not like February, winter storm Uri winter, but I'm ready for fall-like temperatures. So I want to wear the other wardrobe I have in my closet.
Well, you can wear it.
The
Nobody's
sweaters.
stopping you.
No, I don't
Nobody's
want to
stopping you.
sweat.
Put them on. Put them on.
No, it has to be weather
Come on,
appropriate.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's below 80, it's winter.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
And so we've got just a few days left to enjoy summer-ish, early fall-ish temperatures before the temperatures begin to plunge.
Yeah.
And what happens? Once we go through a little bit of that, then say hello to the 30s.
Yeah.
Say hello to 39 degrees
Yeah,
for a
and
low
then the
sometime
wind
in
chills start
December.
coming in. We start hearing
Yes.
about wind chills and the teens and
And
no
Freeze
thanks.
Mageddon
Yeah,
is going to
Freeze
come.
Mageddon, yeah.
Going to get very ugly, Charity.
It's going to be a long winter for you guys. I can tell
It's already a
Yeah.
long
It's going
winter.
to be a long,
It's longer than a day.
long,
It's
cold, lonely winter, in the words of George Harrison. And we will be playing Here Comes the Sun in 220 days.
Yes.
Mr. Tim
Non-stop on a loop.
Yes. Lots more coming up. A big 7 o'clock hour on the way. We will check in with national correspondent Rory O'Neill on what looks like it's just about a done deal. The House of Representatives will almost certainly go to the Republicans. We'll talk about that. And more on that flight from Fort Lauderdale into Haiti that was shot up at Port-au-Prince trying to make a landing. We'll get into that as well. But right now, Charity McCurdy with all the big stories you need to know about on this Yacht Rock Tuesday morning as WOAI News Time is 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Tuesday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, more Trump cabinet picks and more nonstop flights at San Antonio International Airport. We'll have details first, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your weather forecast for this Tuesday, partly cloudy, a high near 85. Tonight's low near 60, right now 66 degrees. President-elect Trump is reportedly choosing Florida Senator Marco Rubio as his Secretary of State. Fox's Aisha Hasni has more about the president-elect's cabinet picks.
It comes as Florida Congressman and China hawk Mike Waltz has been named as White House National Security Advisor. He was a huge surrogate for Trump on the trail. And former New York Congressman Lee Zeldin heads the EPA, and Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has been tapped to be the next U.S. ambassador to the UN. Former senior advisor Stephen Miller has been named Deputy Chief of Staff, and former acting ICE Director Tom Homan taking this newly created role of border czar and vowing to pursue all of Trump's policies, including that mass deportation plan.
And when asked about giving migrants an opportunity to apply for legal citizenship after being in the country illegally, Homan responded on Fox's Hannity.
Criminals and gang members get no grace period. But while we're out prioritizing the public safety threats and national security threats, if you want to self-deport, you should self-deport because, again, we know who you are, and we're going to come and find you.
Meantime, there are indications President-elect Trump may be softening on plans for mass deportations. Michael Board explains.
Some of Trump's surrogates are suggesting the deportations will focus on illegal immigrants who commit crimes. Civil rights groups think there's been pressure from parts of the business community that rely on cheap labor, like home builders.
30% of major construction trades, such as roofers, planters, painters, are undocumented. 30%.
Ray Mancera of El Paso is with the Latino rights group LULAC. He says they support the deportation of criminals, and they're telling migrant communities to stay out of trouble during the Trump administration. Michael Board, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
Republican Senate leadership has an open seat as the party's current leader, Mitch McConnell, plans to step down this month. Florida Senator Rick Scott is running for the position, and he tells Fox News he's confident he will win.
I ran against McConnell 2 years ago. We're going to win because I've talked to my colleagues. They want change. When they want to be treated like real senators, they want to have an agenda. They want to get something accomplished. They want to go home. When we go home on a Friday, they want to say, I busted my butt and something good happened.
Other candidates in the race include Senator John Thune and Senator John Cornyn. Control the U.S. House is still undecided. The state Supreme Court is another success story for Texas Republicans following the election. 3 GOP justices were reelected by the largest margins in years. Justices Jimmy Blacklock, Jane Bland, and John Devine topped their Democratic challengers by at least 15 percentage points. These are considerably wider margins of victory than in recent elections. The 3 justices' rulings in recent abortion cases didn't alter the outcome. No Democrat has been elected to the 9-member court in nearly 28 years. And the help wanted sign is out at the Bexar County Elections Department. Eric Lycum has more.
It's the end of an era. After 19 years, Bexar County Elections Coordinator Jackie Callanan is stepping down. She announced her resignation in June during a meeting of the Election Commission amid several accusations of no transparency in her department. On Friday, the Election Commission announced it had retained Robert Half Executive Search Services to scour the nation to find a replacement for Callanan. They expect the search to be completed in 90 days. Callanan's last day is coming up in January. Eric Lycum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
Nonstop air service is now available between San Antonio and Boston. Delta Airlines launched its inaugural flight from San Antonio International to Boston yesterday. The spokesperson for the Atlanta-based carrier said the flight indicates the airline's expanding commitment to Texas. Data shows San Antonio's airport is handling more arrivals and departures than ever before. It is 7:06. The Spurs beat the Sacramento Kings at home last night. The Voice was Spurs. Bill Schoening has details, and today's Spurs Insider brought to you by Germ Logic. Thanks, Bill. Today's Spurs Insider brought to you by Germ Logic. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Traffic and weather coming up.
San Antonio's first news on a Yacht Rock Tuesday. Big 7 o'clock hour is upon us. Coming up at 7:40, the latest from Capitol Hill with Republicans poised to take the House of Representatives. In fact, some news outlets already calling it for the Republicans. Senate leadership to be chosen and more members of Donald Trump's cabinet and staff being at least made public, some of the choices that are available. We'll talk about that with national correspondent Rory O'Neill. Charlie Parker will join us at 7:50. Lots to talk about with Charlie. And coming up on a segment we call Wait Till You Hear This, more on that jetliner that was fired upon while trying to land at Port-au-Prince, Haiti. First, let's get you caught up on traffic and weather together.
Partly cloudy, partly sunny today and tomorrow. Highs in the low to mid 80s today, mid 80s tomorrow. Thursday, sunshine, highs in the upper 70s. It is 65 degrees in Alamo Heights, 65 at Randolph Air Force Base, and 63 right here at the Radio Ranch. WOAI News Time, 7:10.
Little Jackson Brown on a Yacht Rock Tuesday. Those of us old enough will remember that song from Fast Times at
In the
Ridgemont
dugout.
High.
Yes, in the dugout.
An American classic. There's
Amen.
Citizen Kane, Gone with the Wind,
In Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
When we were talking about fine American cinema. Well, we talked about it earlier this morning. Just such a bizarre and frightening story that Spirit Airlines jetliner flying from Fort Lauderdale to Port-au-Prince, Haiti, fired upon, sustains gunfire. So they divert it to Santiago in the Dominican Republic. Let's hear more about that in this segment that we call Wait Till You Hear This. This is an ABC affiliate WLPG report out of South Beach in Florida, where you'll hear from a passenger on that Spirit Airlines flight. His name is Jean-David Desrolais. Let's listen.
An overhead compartment riddled with bullet holes after gunfire erupts when this South Florida-based flight tries to land in Haiti.
Basically, we're about to land. I can't estimate exactly how many feet we were from the ground. And I heard clock, 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 3 times.
Told Spirit Flight 951 departed Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. But according to the airline, an inspection revealed evidence of damage to the aircraft consistent with gunfire. One flight attendant on board reported minor injuries and is being evaluated by medical personnel.
But what confirmed everything was when the pilot, maybe 10 seconds later, maybe less, basically proceeded to get the plane back up. We feel that pressure, that gravity, and basically proceeded to take the plane back up.
A similar situation happened in March when another plane was also shot up, happening as heavily armed gangs tried to seize control of the airport there.
Charity, we talked about it earlier in the program. My gosh, what a horrible story. Of course, the State Department urging Americans not to travel there. It's very, very dangerous. And it doesn't look like it's going to get any better anytime soon.
Yeah, more airlines are suspending service to Haiti after that incident. And it's a scary situation all the way around, because even if you manage to make a flight that's going into Port-au-Prince, I mean, you still have to deal with safety risks on the ground. I mean, there's been civil unrest going on for at least 7 weeks now.
Right, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. And even an election could be compromised by these gangs. So it's just not a pretty sight right now in Haiti, and no matter where you go, flying, driving, walking, whatever.
Yeah, I'm surprised that in this case, Spirit Airlines, but also JetBlue, one of their jets flew in the opposite direction out of Port-au-Prince, Haiti to John F. Kennedy Airport in New York, and they saw a bullet, had been fired into that fuselage. I'm just amazed that these major American airlines, whether or not the State Department says you shouldn't fly there, I'm surprised that they do business flying in there with this level of danger.
Yeah, I mean, at some point it must have been good business. I don't know how full those flights are, but considering that they are continuing or were up until this point, indicates it's a popular flight.
We'll continue to keep an eye on that story. Coming up, we'll hear more from you as Thanksgiving, man. It is just a couple of weeks away, and some people are altering their plans because the family can't get along with the result of this election. More of your talkbacks coming up. We'll get you caught up on headlines, traffic, weather, and more. Charlie Parker at 7:50 in studio. WOAI News Time, 7:15.
And we're back. Hang on, I'm going to kill these for a sec. And we're back. Somebody's baby. So Mr. Buckholz is on a cruise right now in Belize.
How cool is that, man? I have never been to Belize, but I've heard great things about it.
I hear money goes a long way in Belize.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, my niece many times has gotten like an Airbnb there. She's like a few friends. They'll just go down to Belize, hang out for a week. So sounds fun.
I hear it's happening. Sun Princess. That's funny, Travis. I love it. Hi. Tommy, have a great day. Hit him straight and long. That's all I can tell you. Tammy's playing golf, man. What kind of workout is that? I'm kidding. For all you golfers out there, I know it's a strenuous sport. Okay, what did she do?
I don't know. They keep there's like 3 shots that they have, and they keep doing the same cutaway. You almost need to, I think, introduce it so people know what they're listening to.
Okay.
Since it's a parody.
Well, actually, it's I don't know. Let's listen to it real quick. Hang on. What do you have it? What is it? Oh, yeah.
Maybe like after the talkbacks, before we go out of that segment, that way you can introduce it and. Just ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather together. Then we'll hear some of your talkbacks, how you're going to handle Thanksgiving. You going to make any changes, given that your family might not be politically aligned and things might get ugly. Then an unusual yacht rock song from a band you might not have expected. First, Charity McCurdy, what stories are you following?
President-elect Trump is reportedly set to tap Florida Senator Marco Rubio for the job of Secretary of State. A search is underway to replace the resigning Bexar County elections administrator. And SpaceX is revealing more about its next launch attempt. We'll have the details right now, traffic and weather.
Partly cloudy, partly sunny today and tomorrow. Highs in the low to mid 80s today, mid 80s tomorrow. Thursday, sunshine, highs in the upper 70s. It is 65 degrees at Lackland Air Force Base, 63 in China Grove, and 64 right here at the Radio Ranch. WOAI News Time, 7:20.
San Antonio's first news. Normally at this time, we check in with Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast, but fear not. Mike will join us in just about an hour. He'll join us around 8:20 this morning, so you don't have to miss your Mike Opelka fix. We will ask Mike about the big stories of the morning at 8:20. Mike is brought to us by Randy Adams Incorporated. Coming up in a few moments, a yacht rock song on a Yacht Rock Tuesday from a band and a song you might not expect to be yacht rock music, but that's what we do. We span the globe for yacht rock radio and songs as well.
We span the oceans to bring you the best yacht rock.
We're sailing the 7 seas. More on that in a moment. But first, we've been asking you all morning long to talk back on the iHeartRadio app. How you handling Thanksgiving? There are people across the country. It's becoming a trend, changing their plans or setting ground rules to try to find a way that family members can get along when it comes to politics this Thanksgiving. Mr. T, what do we got?
I got this one.
Jerry and Blanco. I always try to keep politics out of the holidays, but usually somebody always brings it up. Recently had a run-in with my daughter over her ridiculous social media posts. My thought is agree to disagree because we're going to disagree. Her thought is they ain't coming for dinner. I say fine because her husband's everything she accuses Trump of being.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Jerry, have a great Thanksgiving, man. I mean, come on. Wow.
It's got to be tough for Jerry.
It's gotta be
Imagine
tough.
you bring up your daughter a certain way, and then all of a sudden she goes to the dark side, what you consider the dark side.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
All right, here's another one.
Hey, Chris. Good morning, everybody. It's a road runner out here trucking them up. Like RK, I also ride a Harley, and I'm ready to bust out that leather jacket and maybe some gloves. Last year, I did a thing. My wife and I, we volunteered to help at the Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner, and it was a blessing, very humbling, and I'm ready to do that again. Y'all have a great day.
Wow.
Good man.
Okay.
Good. That is, you know what? Of all the ways you could spend Thanksgiving to help out, and what a wonderful institution that is in San Antonio, the Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner, just doing a wonderful thing for people who otherwise might not have Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, I mean, talk about filling your heart with joy. I mean, that's the alternative to tense political discussions among family at the Thanksgiving dinner table.
Yeah.
That sounds like the more favorable option, actually.
Yeah, because if you can come out of that and still argue, you need to go back in and help some more.
So true. All right, it is a Yacht Rock Tuesday. We're playing yacht rock music, which tends to be music from the mid 70s to the mid 80s, kind of it was once known as kind of like soft rock, but Mr. T, not all of these bands are known as soft rock bands.
No, this came from a listener, Daryl. See if you can recognize the song.
A modern day warrior, big strike. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean part.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, his mind is not for it. Don't put him down as arrogant. His reserve a quiet defense, riding out the day's events. The river. What you say about his company is what you say about society. Catch the mist, catch the myth, catch the mystery, catch the drift. The world is love and life are deep.
Wow.
Rush,
Tom Sawyer, if it was a yacht rock song.
See? There's a guy I follow on Instagram, and his whole shtick, and I think he's a radio DJ from, I think, somewhere in the Southeast, Florida, somewhere. And his whole thing, he wears a captain's hat.
Okay.
And he reimagines typically hard rock songs as yacht rock. And some of them are rap songs. And he reimagines them as yacht rock, and it's pretty funny.
With artificial intelligence, you can do pretty much anything like that. You know,
True.
This is actually from Daryl. He says it's from the YouTube channel What If It Were Yacht Rock.
Nice.
It sounded like George Benson.
Almost, but
yeah.
it's Tom Sawyer, yacht rock. I mean,
right.
Rush, they like to get out on the seas too. I mean, San Antonio's favorite, Rush. So they like to get out there and sail.
Rush has always, you're right, had a big San Antonio following. Yes. But maybe not if they played that.
I don't know. I think people would buy it and go, yeah, it's Rush.
Good point.
Come on, it's Rush.
Big half hour coming up. We got Charity with all the news you need to know here at the bottom of the hour. 7:40, national correspondent Rory O'Neill, the latest developments on Capitol Hill. 7:50, Charlie Parker in studio. Don't go anywhere. WOAI News Time, 7:26.
La Macarena Yacht Rock. You know, they probably have it.
I would imagine.
Travis, I knew you would just love that, Travis. I think it had a nice beat.
It did.
I have a list. If you want it, I can send it to you.
A list of what?
Of the Trump cabinet members.
Oh, cool. Including the Gilf.
Okay, now it's not here. What happened to it? Well, hell, no, it's not. No, it's not popping up. I will find it. You need me to send it to you? Because I just found it. But Christy, no, I'm not on this one. Where am the clowns? The devil went down to Georgia Yacht Rock. I love that one. That would be a good one. The Police. That would be good. You know, Travis, I figured you would enjoy that, but I didn't want to give you nightmares. I apologize. That came from our listener, Daryl, and his other brother, Daryl, sent it in.
Daryl and his brother, Daryl.
Yeah. All right, everybody enjoyed Charity.
$7:30 is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Tuesday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, Trump continues to build his cabinet, and the El Paso Walmart shooter looks to avoid the death penalty. We'll have more right now. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your weather forecast for this Tuesday, partly cloudy, a high near 85. Tonight's low 60, right now 64 degrees. President-elect Trump continues building up his cabinet as he transitions back into the White House. Here's Fox's Brooke Seaman.
Governor Kristi Noem could reportedly be named Secretary of Homeland Security, which has oversight of everything from Customs and Border Patrol to FEMA and the Secret Service. Trump is also expected to nominate Florida Senator Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. The president could still change his mind here, but right now, a source tells us he is planning to offer Rubio the job. And if he does, Rubio would be the first Hispanic Secretary of State in U.S. history. Sources also tell us Trump has also offered Florida Congressman Mike Waltz the role of White House National Security Advisor. The three-term Republican congressman was the first Green Beret ever elected to the House.
And Republicans are just a few seats away from keeping control of the House as the vote counting rolls on. A win for Republicans would give President-elect Trump an easier path to enact his policies now that the Senate is under GOP control. As of now, Republicans need to win just 3 more seats to gain control, while Democrats need 12 to keep control. Republican Senate leadership has an open seat as the party's current leader, Mitch McConnell, plans to step down. Florida Senator Rick Scott tells Fox's Hannity that he wants President-elect Trump's agenda to be implemented as soon as possible.
I want the Donald Trump agenda implemented. I want his nominees confirmed as quickly as we can get those nominees confirmed so we can get to work.
Other candidates in the race include Senator John Thune and Senator John Cornyn. Last week's election disaster has some Democrats talking about rebuilding the party.
The Democratic Party's response, I think, has to very clearly be for working people as the core of who it is that we are.
San Antonio Congressman Greg Casar says that Democrats should be talking about issues like rent relief, a child tax credit, and small business assistance, and he's okay with the fact that it might irk some of the party's big money backers. Casar and others with the House Progressive Caucus say they will stop relying on election polling, some of which predicted wins last week. We'll likely learn today if the New York State hush money verdict against Trump will stand or be thrown out. Here's Fox's Gernal Scott with more.
Judge Juan Merchan said today is when he will decide if President-elect Trump's sentencing on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records stays on track for November 26th, or does a Supreme Court immunity ruling covering acts while president mean the conviction will be thrown out or reversed on appeal. The president-elect denies any relationship with adult film actress Stormy Daniels. Payments made to her came before his first election, but repayments to ex-lawyer Michael Cohen were at times discussed in the Oval Office. New York prosecutors say the conviction covers personal conduct for which President-elect Trump is not immune. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
President Biden welcomes Israeli President Isaac Herzog to the White House today. The two leaders are expected to discuss the ongoing conflicts in Gaza and Lebanon. Their meeting comes as Israel faces a U.S.-imposed deadline this week to improve the humanitarian situation in Gaza or risk restrictions on further security assistance. The Allen man who murdered 23 people at an El Paso Walmart 5 years ago will now try to spare himself from the death penalty. LP Phillips reports.
Patrick Crucius is already serving 90 federal court life prison terms after admitting he drove to El Paso in August of 2019 and killed 23 Hispanics at the store. Now, District Attorney Bill Hicks is following through with a promise he made.
We are still going to be prosecuting the Walmart shooter. We are still going to be seeking the death penalty on the Walmart shooter.
To that end, the process of getting a jury to hear the death penalty case in state court begins. Hundreds of questionnaires will be filled out and analyzed by lawyers to come up with prospective jurors. Then in January, lawyers from the two sides will begin questioning individual prospective jurors.
Well, a couple of San Antonio-based companies are on the list of the nation's most military-friendly places to work. Military Friendly magazine ranked USAA at number 42 out of 150 and added that USAA has been rated as a military-friendly employer for 22 years in a row. HEB is ranked at number 23, even though it only has employees in Texas and Mexico. Texas was listed as the top hiring region for veterans, with DFW alongside Atlanta and D.C. as the top 3 metro areas. Well, the Spurs took control in the second half of their 116-96 win over the Sacramento Kings at the First Bank Center last night. Spurs interim head coach Mitch Johnson says that his team did a great job slowing down a high-powered offense.
Fox's tempo and pace is ridiculous. He can create shots out of nothing. He's surrounded by a bunch of shooters. Sabonis is obviously a load, so it's a tough team to think you're going to continue to get stops. We did a really good job in the third quarter setting the tone.
Victor Wembanyama led the charge with 34 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists, while Chris Paul added a double-double, 12 points and 11 assists. Up next, the Spurs host the Wizards tomorrow night. You can catch the action right here starting at 6:30 p.m. It is 7:37. Traffic and weather together in a minute, but first, to check of your money and the world of business. Courtney Donahoe is live at the Bloomberg News Desk. Thanks, Courtney. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Here's traffic and weather.
San Antonio's first news on a Yacht Rock Tuesday. Charlie Parker will join us in studio in just a few minutes. About 10 minutes at 7:50, he'll be with us. Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman. I'm Chris Duell. Well, let's talk about all the goings-on Capitol Hill and the changes that are coming with national correspondent Rory O'Neill. Rory, let's start with the House of Representatives. Is it official yet? Can we say officially Republicans have control?
Not yet, but we're close. We're really close. They're still counting ballots in some places, especially in California. But if things settle down as we suspect, it'll be the GOP with 222, the Democrats with 213. So Republicans maintain the majority, but we just heard from former President-elect Donald Trump saying that he's going to take 2 of those Republican House members and bring them into his administration. So that means the majority will be 220 to 213, and it could go down even further depending on who is chosen to replace Marco Rubio as the senator from Florida when Rubio, if we believe, becomes Secretary of State.
Yeah, and Rory, as we continue to watch those Trump cabinet picks, do we know how much influence one Elon Musk carries on Trump's cabinet picks? Because he's certainly being very vocal on X.
He certainly is about specific cabinet appointments, even who should be the majority leader in the U.S. Senate. Musk coming down in favor of Senator Rick Scott, the other Florida senator, to be the next majority leader, replacing Mitch McConnell. There is a big vote tomorrow. It happens behind closed doors, secret ballot. The Republicans will decide, of the Senate, will decide who their majority leader will be starting in the new year. McConnell has already said he's done. So we've got this three-way battle with Senator Cornyn, of course, Senator Thune, and Rick Scott. And some say Scott is the dark horse coming up the outside, but some saying maybe he's overplaying his hand. It'll be interesting tomorrow.
All right, so you gave us a dark horse. Who's the favorite right now? Who's the favorite?
Probably Senator Thune.
Okay.
From South Dakota. But look, John Cornyn's got a long, deep relationships as well with his fellow Republicans there. It's tough to pick.
Any other Trump cabinet speculation that's out there? Some faces we should keep an eye on here?
We got word that Kristi Noem is going to run the Department of Homeland Security. She's the South Dakota governor. She's expected to be tapped for that cabinet position. She'll be working with Tom Homan. That's the border czar that was announced by the president-elect. As I said, Michael Waltz will become National Security Advisor, the first Green Beret to hold that job. And earlier this week, we learned that Lee Stefanik will be the UN ambassador. So a lot of these things are coming together quickly.
They sure are. Our thanks to national correspondent Rory O'Neill. Coming up, Charlie Parker in studio. We'll get you caught up on headlines, traffic, weather, and more. WOAI News Time 743. Charlie Parker is in studio. We go to him in a moment. First, Charity, what stories are you following?
We will have the latest on President-elect Trump's cabinet picks. A man is in custody accused of murdering his girlfriend's father outside a Northside restaurant. And nonstop air service is now available between San Antonio and Boston. We'll have details right now, traffic and weather.
Partly cloudy, partly sunny today and tomorrow. Low to mid 80s today, mid 80s tomorrow. Thursday, sunshine, highs in the upper 70s. 64 degrees at the Pearl, 64 at Lackland Air Force Base, and 63 right here at the Radio Ranch. WOAI News Time, 749.
San Antonio's first news. Charlie Parker is in studio. Charlie, lots to talk about, lots going on, especially in the world of sports. What's on your mind?
San Antonio Spurs.
Yes.
Right
who
on.
are now 5-6 on the season, almost 1/4 of the way to all of the wins they had last year. They finished, 22-60?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Spurs did not win their 6th game of the season? Now, they won 5.
Okay.
I expect them to win a few more at least before the end of this month. The Spurs did not win their 6th game of the season last year until January.
Wow.
Till January.
Wow.
We still have the rest of November, all of December, we're going to see that we're going to be
Yes,
better
we are.
than last year.
Yes, we are.
And obviously, most of it is, I don't know if it is most of it. Some of that is the maturation and the growth of
the team,
Wemby
yes.
from one year to the next. But I'm giving major kudos to CP3 and Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, Harrison Barnes.
Those two
yeah.
additions are just huge. And we played most of the season so far without Devin.
Mm-hmm.
We've had injury. I mean, I'm jacked. I'm jacked. Meanwhile, we got the Wizards tomorrow night, Lakers on Friday at home, and then at Dallas on Saturday. That's what's going on the rest of this week. Cowboys, as we know, are 3-6, and some of you may be holding out hope. I would suggest that you find something else to think about because it ain't happening.
Abandon all hope.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping they lose the rest of the games and get a good draft pick.
It wouldn't hurt.
No.
Wouldn't hurt. I don't know if you saw Fox NFL Sunday. First of all, their tribute to veterans
Was awesome.
and being in San Diego, with the Navy was just absolutely incredible. But during that show, and nobody gave him any flack on it, and it started me to thinking, and I've been thinking about it since Sunday. Jimmy Johnson said, what the Cowboys need to do right now is trade Micah Parsons.
And get draft picks.
And get what you can, because
Yeah.
here's what's going to happen. If you don't trade him at the end of the year when his contract expires and he walks, what do you get?
Zero, nothing.
You get nothing. Now, I'm not saying that I'm in favor of this. I don't know yet.
I would rather do that than him walk away and get nothing.
Right.
So, yes.
Someone right now, there are probably at least 10 teams that would take on the rest of his contract, which is $4 million this year.
Yeah, easily.
And say, hey, it's Michael Parsons, and we'll pay him whatever he wants at the end of the contract. Because whoever gets him in a trade is going to have to do that. They're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with him at the end of the season.
But $4 million for the rest of this year is a steal.
Oh, it's an absolute
Yeah,
steal.
so, well, yeah.
We can't pay him, I don't think. I mean, I'll tell you what's going on in my head. Cowboys don't have the money for it.
No.
And if they do have the money for it or did have the money to sign him, then what? That's the only thing you can do in the offseason.
Then you're in the same boat you're in this year.
You've got the highest paid player in the National Football League ever sitting on the bench with a torn hamstring.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got CeeDee Lamb who can't, wear sunglasses or something, during I'm not holding him. Look, I can't tell you how many pop flies playing in the infield.
I know.
Playing baseball.
Yeah.
And I lost in the sun.
Yeah.
You lose them.
Yeah.
But that stadium's been there for, and now these things are coming up. McCarthy needs to be gone now.
Yes.
We know that.
Yes.
But that's not going to happen. They'll let him hang around until the end of the season, and then he will be gone. Let me give you a hypothetical here, or just ask you your thoughts. Cooper Rush or Trey Lance?
Trey Lance. Let's see what we got.
Then exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Yeah, because you're not trying to win the playoffs are out.
No,
The
so
playoffs
might
are
as well,
done.
If you're going to lose games, at least develop somebody.
Yeah, scout.
Learn,
Yes.
And learn what you got. I mean, we didn't get him that cheap, did we?
No. It was cheap.
No, I think a 4th round draft.
Yeah, it was cheap.
Yeah.
It was cheap.
Yeah.
So why not use him? Yeah.
That's what I say.
Now, I gotta ask you this.
Sure.
Rex Ryan on whatever show he's on, commenting on football.
NFL. NFL Network.
He said yesterday, Deion Sanders next year as coach of the Cowboys. He said Dak Prescott isn't going to respect any other coach they bring in. I don't know why he said that, but he said if Deion Sanders comes in, he knows what the Cowboys' legacy should be, won Super Bowls, and he said he's 10 times the player Dak Prescott will ever be, and he wins everywhere he goes. What do you think about Deion becoming the next coach of the Cowboys?
Oh, man, I've got problems with his attitude as a head coach in Colorado. Of course, you coach in college gives
It's
one
different,
way.
yes.
You coach professional players a different way. I wouldn't be opposed to it, I don't think.
At this point?
If you were Deion, would you leave Colorado?
Ew.
To go to the Cowboys, maybe.
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 Does his son and Turner, are they both seniors?
Son should be the number 1 pick in the upcoming draft.
Okay, so he's not,
Was it a package deal, maybe?
he's got to look and see what.
Yeah.
Well,
Is it a package
yeah,
deal?
well, and my wife every 5 seconds talks about get rid of Dak, get rid of Dak, get rid of Dak, and every 6 seconds I tell my wife you can't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody will take him.
No.
Chris has said this numerous times. He is without question one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league, even with his mistakes and his, downsides. Still one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league.
Regular
He
season.
shouldn't be one of the top 10 paid quarterbacks in the league because he's not. I mean, he doesn't deserve that. It's too late to go back on that. And you can't get rid of him.
Yeah.
That's your guy. I don't know if you've ever had hamstring problems. I have. And when you get them, they don't go away. It's like a back issue. It stays with you forever. You could be running and no problem. The next thing you know, you step out of your car and boom, it goes again. I don't know what to do. College Football Playoff Committee, their second rankings are out. What was number 4, Miami, is going to be out of the top 10. Georgia, I think, is going to be out of the top 10, but not by a lot. They'll probably
11.
go to 11 or 12.
Yeah.
I think they'll still be in the top 12. Texas is going to move up to number 3. This is just a guess. Ole Miss is going to be in the top 10. Texas A&M is going to move up, but I don't think they move into the top 12, but they
get closer.
They've got time.
Yeah, they get
to
closer.
do that. Are you buying Indiana?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet, but they keep winning.
I know.
Well, they're at Ohio State this weekend, and then they get Purdue.
So if they can beat Ohio State this
one
weekend,
loss.
if they
Maximum.
Yeah, but if they can beat Ohio State, then maybe I start believing.
They're not beating Ohio State.
But if they do, then I start believing.
Yeah. And I heard someone say this morning on the Talkback feature talking about the Thanksgiving thing. Well, I've heard a lot of people talk about it. If you're canceling your Thanksgiving because of the possibility of angst or arguments or whatever, you need a new family. No, I'm
Yeah,
serious.
I
I'm
hear
serious. You can't get through a Thanksgiving without, come on. You got no other rooms in your house you can go to, or you can't make some kind of a rule. And speaking of making changes, I've said this for 25 years. I say it every year around this time, and I'm going to say it again. I like green beans. I like mushroom soup. I like onion straws. I'm not crazy about water chestnuts, but if you need those ingredients to make your green beans taste good, you need a new vegetable.
Or a new family.
No, it's just a new vegetable. And the call I was talking about was the guy who said that they have a rule that you have to take some green bean casserole, even if you don't like it.
You have to take a
that's
bite.
Just stupid.
I'm breaking the rules then.
I'm not saying that person's stupid. I'm just saying that's just
The rule.
stupid.
The rule itself.
The rule is stupid.
Yes.
What are you
I
going to
agree.
do? Put it on your plate and then not eat it?
That's
Because
a
he
great
didn't
point.
say you have to take it and eat it.
No.
He just said you have to take. I don't.
No.
Come on. Come on.
He is Charlie Parker. Lots more coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, including Mike Opelka at 8:20. WOAI News Time 7:58.
Eight o'clock is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Tuesday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, Trump continues to make his cabinet picks, and another nonstop flight is coming to San Antonio. We'll have details first. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your weather forecast for this Tuesday, partly cloudy, a high near 85. Tonight's low near 60. Get a move on. It is 64 degrees. President-elect Trump is reportedly choosing Florida Senator Marco Rubio as his Secretary of State. Fox's Aisha Hasni has more about the president-elect's cabinet picks.
It comes as Florida Congressman and China hawk Mike Waltz has been named as White House National Security Advisor. He was a huge surrogate for Trump on the trail. And former New York Congressman Lee Zeldin heads the EPA, and Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has been tapped to be the next U.S. ambassador to the UN. Former senior advisor Stephen Miller has been named Deputy Chief of Staff, and former acting ICE Director Tom Homan taking this newly created role of border czar and vowing to pursue all of Trump's policies, including that mass deportation plan.
When asked about giving migrants an opportunity to apply for legal citizenship after being in the country illegally, Homan responded on Fox's Hannity.
Criminals and gang members get no grace period. But while we're out prioritizing the public safety threats and national security threats, if you want to self-deport, you should self-deport because, again, we know who you are, and we're going to come and find you.
And Trump may be softening on plans for mass deportations, with some of his surrogates suggesting that they will instead focus on illegal immigrants who commit crimes. Civil rights groups think there's been pressure from parts of the business community that rely on cheap labor.
Him being a business person, having hotels, golf courses, hospitality, 1 in 14 workers would be deported.
Ray Mancera of El Paso is with the Latino rights group LULAC. He says they support the deportation of criminals, and they're telling migrant communities to stay out of trouble during the Trump administration. Republican Senate leadership has an open seat as the party's current leader, Mitch McConnell, plans to step down. Florida Senator Rick Scott is running for the position and tells Fox News he's confident he will win.
I ran against McConnell 2 years ago. We're going to win because I've talked to my colleagues. They want change. They want to be treated like real senators. They want to have an agenda. They want to get something accomplished. They want to go when we go home on a Friday, they want to say, I busted my butt and something good happened.
Other candidates in the race include Senator John Thune and Senator John Cornyn. Well, the Help Wanted sign is out at the Bexar County Elections Department. Eric Leichtem reports.
It's the end of an era. After 19 years, Bexar County Elections Coordinator Jackie Callanan is stepping down. She announced her resignation in June during a meeting of the Election Commission amid several accusations of no transparency in her department. On Friday, the Election Commission announced it had retained Robert Half Executive Search Services to scour the nation to find a replacement for Callanan. They expect the search to be completed in 90 days. Callanan's last day is coming up in January. Eric Leichtem, News Radio 1200, WOAI.
Nonstop air service is now available between San Antonio and Boston. Delta Airlines launched its inaugural flight from San Antonio International Airport to Boston yesterday. Data shows San Antonio's airport is handling more arrivals and departures than ever before. Well, the Spurs took control in the second half of their 116-96 win over the Sacramento Kings at the Frost Bank Center last night. Victor Wembanyama says that he's getting better from beyond the arc each night.
I've been taking less threes. I've just been taking better threes, I think. Of course, it's feeling better, but I'm 20. I hope that for like some years, it's going to keep feeling better and better. There's no reason for it to feel worse.
Wemby led the charge with 34 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists, while Chris Paul added a double-double with 12 points and 11 assists. Up next, the Spurs host the Wizards tomorrow night. You can catch all the action right here. It is 8:06. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Traffic and weather coming up.
San Antonio's first news on a Yacht Rock Tuesday. Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman. Our thanks to Charlie Parker, who just joined us. I'm Chris Duell. Lots to cover in this 8 o'clock hour, including Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast. He'll be joining us at 8:20. And guess who is disinvited from his mom's Thanksgiving dinner celebration? No, not Mr.
not
T,
me.
Tim
Oh,
Merriman. A major television news personality.
Randy Beamer?
Not Randy
Oh.
Beamer. Randy is his mother and
Okay,
Randy have a very good relationship. We'll tell you who it is in just a sec. First, let's get you caught up on traffic and weather together.
Partly cloudy, partly sunny today and tomorrow. Highs in the low to mid 80s today, mid 80s tomorrow. Thursday, sunshine, highs in the upper 70s. It is 65 degrees at Alamo Ranch, 64 at Lackland Air Force Base, 63 right here at the Radio Ranch. WOEI News Time 810.
What you won't do for love, including the love of your family on Thanksgiving. And we've been talking about it all morning long. San Antonio's first news. Well, a major television news personality is not invited to his mother's Thanksgiving celebration. That would be Jesse Waters of Fox News. His show, Jesse Waters Prime Time. He made the announcement on his program that his mother has decided. I'll read the quotes, Charity, and then we can react. He said, quote, "I'll have you know that I was not invited to my mother's house for Thanksgiving. Apparently there was not enough room," end quote. He went on to say, quote, "She said it was a scheduling situation. And then at the last second, she invited me to come over on Black Friday. I told her, no thanks. I'll be at Best Buy." Wow. Apparently, Jesse Waters' mom not down with Jesse Waters' politics.
So I wonder, is it Jesse that's, in people's faces about his political leanings, or is it the opposite? Is it his liberal family that is in his face? I wonder why he would even want to go if he's not welcome. That's just that's heartbreaking to hear. But I guess the good news is that Trump's daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, has invited him over to the Trump house for Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
So he might have gotten an upgrade. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm starting to think maybe he set this up so he could be invited to the Trumps for Thanksgiving. I would not put it past Jesse Waters to come up with that. It's a pretty, it's a pretty clever idea, actually, because it's working.
That's kind of a conspiracy theory.
Oh, is that what that is?
Well, I'm just guessing, Mr. T. But no, if true, very, very good. But I mean, imagine if that is the case, Charity, that his mom is like this, flaming liberal and angry. My son is Jesse Waters, and he's on Fox News, and he's a big Trumpster. And it's like, all right, Mom, you're going to blow me off for Thanksgiving. I'm not invited. Well, the Trumps invited me. I mean, if you want to stick it to your mom, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Apparently, he has a segment called Mom Text, and he actually regularly reads his mother's text to him because she's so critical of the fact that he's on Fox News to begin with.
Man, that would be hard to take if your mother says, look, we just don't have room for you, son. That would be crushing.
It would.
Crushing.
Well, but how can your mom,
Exactly.
and again, we've talked about situations like this. We've had some people on our talkback feature tell us about their family. We had the guy not long ago whose daughter went in the opposite direction than he raised her. If you're Jesse Waters' mom, even if he is diametrically opposed to everything you believe in, he's your son, and then you invite him and you try to have a conversation with him, and vice versa.
That's the way it should be. I mean, we're supposed to come together. I thought that was the goal.
Yes.
So
unity.
Just
The
hash it
Beatles.
out over Thanksgiving turkey.
Yes.
The Beatles.
Yes. Come together.
Put that forward.
Yes.
Come together right now. Over
family unity, country unity,
Yes.
political unity. Let's just put it all together and just call it unity.
You know who I think could bring us all together? Mike Opelka.
He could.
Mike Opelka of the Pure Opelka podcast. He's going to join us next, and I think we'll all feel better.
Are we going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya?
Yes.
That would be awesome.
We're going to do that. We'll play some yacht rock. We'll feel better about America. We'll feel better about Thanksgiving. That's coming up. Mike Opelka coming right up. WOAI News Time, 8:14. Coming up, Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast, his takes on the morning's big stories. But first, Charity, what stories are you following?
President-elect Trump is reportedly expected to name Florida Senator Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. Republicans are just a few seats away from keeping control of the House as the vote counting rolls on. And we'll tell you about a couple of San Antonio-based companies that have been ranked as military-friendly employers. We'll have details right now, traffic and weather.
Partly cloudy, partly sunny today and tomorrow. Low to mid 80s today, mid 80s tomorrow. Thursday, lots of sunshine, highs in the upper 70s. 65 degrees in Monte Vista, 65 at Randolph Air Force Base, and 64 now here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time 8:20.
San Antonio's first news. The day would not be complete. The morning would not be complete if we didn't connect with Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast. He is brought to us by Randy Adams Incorporated. And Mike, do you like the idea of Marco Rubio for Secretary of State?
I'm okay with it. I really was hoping to be Rick Grinnell. I think Grinnell would have been a better choice, but I understand what Mr. Trump's doing, and it's easy to replace Rubio in the Senate in Florida. So he's got that going for it. It's not a bad choice. It's not my favorite choice.
And Mike, what do you think of Tom Homan as Trump's border czar?
Charity, I love Tom Homan. I have interviewed him several times. I think he is a no-nonsense guy who came up through the system, and so he knows the problems, and he also knows what can be done. So I'm all in on Tom Homan.
So what happens to J.D. Vance's Senate seat now that he's going to become vice president?
Oh, we're going to sell it.
Okay, good.
No, I'm kidding. That's it.
How much?
If it were Illinois, that's what would happen, right? We'd have an auction to be on eBay today. The governor, Mike DeWine, gets to appoint someone to complete it, and then I think it's like 2 years left in the term that will have to then be decided by an election. So it looks like it's going to be Vivek Ramaswamy at this point, which I find interesting. I like Vivek. I don't know if that would have been my first choice. I'm going to talk to some Ohio people today about that.
And Mike, more and more Democrats continue to do a post-mortem on this election, try to figure out what went wrong. And apparently Joe Scarborough on Morning Joe is having the come to Jesus moment that Bill Maher has had for a long time, that the woke aspect of the Democratic philosophy probably was not a good thing.
Yeah, that was not exactly a big surprise, but it was a healthy admission for Joe, and maybe his therapist suggested that he do this publicly to get the forgiveness process going. This is one of those tough losses because just like the Hillary election against Trump, they expected the win, didn't get it. And so now they're looking for, the blame storming has started. And so there are myriad ways that they can accept this, but I think it's just easier to go, hey, we lost. Let's figure out what to do next time and move on. Because you can spend the rest of your life trying to figure out what was the problem here. James Carville told you like 30 years ago, it's the economy, stupid.
And Mike, Oprah Winfrey, did she or didn't she get paid for her endorsement of the Harris Walls campaign?
Charity, it depends on what your meaning of paid is. If we go back to the records, we show that the FEC has Harpo getting $2 $500,000 payments. I'm from Arkansas, but I can add that's $1 million, and that's Oprah's company. Yeah, this is one of those questions. And Oprah, first of all, Oprah got caught walking around the streets by TMZ. I thought that was a really bizarre video. I watched it several times going, where are the Oprah bodyguards?
Yeah.
Because she probably has her own Oprah Secret Service, and it just seemed really weird. But for her to say, no, I never took any money, your company did. You're basically the company, so you did take money.
Wow. All right. So Mattel is deeply, deeply sorry for what happened with their Wicked doll, and apparently they had the wrong website on the doll.
Yes, I didn't know this, Mr. T. Perhaps one of you knew about it, but there is apparently an adult video group called Wicked Entertainment. And the Wicked dolls, which have been on the shelves for several weeks now from the Mattel company, had that URL on the packaging, which is now being sold at a premium on eBay, of course, because everybody's crazy. And Mattel deeply, deeply regrets all the publicity they're getting for these dolls right now. Just want you to know.
My goodness. And a story we've been talking about a lot this morning, Mike, Spirit Airlines, a flight from Fort Lauderdale into Port-au-Prince, Haiti, it takes on gunfire. They have to divert that flight to the Dominican Republic. Mike, how do these American airlines keep flying into Haiti?
Well, they don't, and they're not. There's, there was an immediate pause on airlines out of American carriers flying into Haiti. This would have been the craziest situation. But at the same time, how many of us were going, wait a minute, you're in Miami and you're thinking, hey, let's go to Haiti on a vacation. That just sounds like a bad idea to me. Hate, anytime the first syllable in your name is hate, it's just not a good situation. But you feel bad for the crew. They're taking shrapnel and incoming.
Yeah.
And Spirit already has some image problems already. This isn't going to help. We got enough problems with drunken people fighting over the luggage compartments. Now you got to get, yes, the drinks are $7, but the Kevlar vests are $30.
A Kevlar vest, a parachute might work as well. You can get more Mike Opelka from his Pure Opelka podcast. Get it wherever you get your podcast. We recommend the free iHeartRadio app. Another episode will drop this morning. You don't want to miss it, so go check it out. Mike is brought to us by Randy Adams Incorporated. Lots more coming up, including Charity McCurdy. She's got all the big stories you need to know about on this Yacht Rock Tuesday morning. That's coming at you at the bottom of the hour. WOAI News Time, 8:26.
8:31 is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Tuesday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, Trump continues to build his cabinet and the soul searching continues within the Democratic Party. We'll have details, first traffic and weather together every 10 minutes and mornings. Your weather forecast for this Tuesday, partly cloudy, a high near 85, tonight's low near 60, right now 66 degrees. Well, President-elect Trump continues building up his cabinet as he transitions back into the White House. Here's Fox's Brooke Seaman.
Governor Kristi Noem could reportedly be named Secretary of Homeland Security, which has oversight of everything from Customs and Border Patrol to FEMA and the Secret Service. Trump is also expected to nominate Florida Senator Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. The president could still change his mind here, but right now, a source tells us he is planning to offer Rubio the job. And if he does, Rubio would be the first Hispanic Secretary of State in U.S. history. Sources also tell us Trump has also offered Florida Congressman Mike Waltz the role of White House National Security Advisor. The three-term Republican congressman was the first Green Beret ever elected to the House.
And Republican Senate leadership has an open seat as the party's current leader, Mitch McConnell, plans to step down. Florida Senator Rick Scott tells Fox's Hannity that he wants President-elect Trump's agenda to be implemented as soon as possible.
I want the Donald Trump agenda implemented. I want his nominees confirmed as quickly as we can get those nominees confirmed so we can get to work.
Other candidates in the race include Senator John Thune and Senator John Cornyn. Republicans are just a few seats away from keeping control of the House. The voting continues. A win for Republicans would give President-elect Trump an easier path to enact his policies now that the Senate is under GOP control. As of now, Republicans need to win just 3 more seats to gain control, while Democrats need 12 to keep control. And last week's election disaster has some Democrats talking about rebuilding the party.
The Democratic Party's response, I think, has to very clearly be for working people as the core of who it is that we are.
San Antonio Congressman Greg Casar says that Democrats should be talking about issues like rent relief, a child tax credit, and small business assistance. And he's okay with the fact that might irk some of the party's big money backers. Casar and others with the House Progressive Caucus says they will stop relying on election polling, some of which predicted wins last week. The Spirit Airlines aircraft was struck by gunfire while en route to Port-au-Prince in Haiti, leading to the airplane to place a temporary hold on flights to the destination. Fox's Jonathan Siri has more.
The plane diverted to the neighboring Dominican Republic, where it landed safely at STI Airport in Santiago. A Spirit Airlines statement says an inspection revealed evidence of damage to the aircraft consistent with gunfire. One flight attendant on board reported minor injuries. No guest injuries were reported. The State Department issued a security alert stating that the U.S. Embassy in Port-au-Prince is aware of gang-led efforts to block travel to and from Port-au-Prince, which may include armed violence and disruptions to roads, ports, and airports. The statement goes on to advise, do not travel to Haiti.
The incident coincides with the recent dismissal of Haiti's acting prime minister. President Biden welcomes Israeli President Isaac Herzog to the White House today. The two leaders are expected to discuss the ongoing conflicts in Gaza and Lebanon. Their meeting comes as Israel faces a U.S.-imposed deadline this week to improve the humanitarian situation in Gaza or risk restrictions on further security assistance. Well, he's already serving 90 life prison terms in federal court, but today the DA in El Paso County begins an effort to put an Allen, Texas man to death. LP Phillips has a story.
Questionnaires have gone out to hundreds of prospective jurors in the death penalty trial of Patrick Crusius. On August 3rd, 2019, Crusius drove from his home in Allen to El Paso just to kill Hispanics. He went to a Walmart store and opened fire, killing 23, including the aunt of Amaris Vega.
He wanted to get rid of the Hispanic people here in El Paso, but he didn't do that. He failed, and he didn't win. We're still here, and we're not going anywhere.
She testified at the federal sentencing hearing where Crusius admitted to what he had done. The El Paso County DA vowed to seek a death sentence in state court. Questioning of individual prospective jurors begins in January.
Well, a couple of San Antonio-based companies are on a list of the nation's most military-friendly places to work. Military Friendly magazine ranked USAA at number 42 out of 150 and added that USAA has been rated as a military-friendly employer for 22 years in a row. HEB is ranked at number 23, even though it only has employees in Texas and Mexico. Texas was listed as the top hiring region for veterans, with DFW alongside Atlanta and DC as the top 3 metro areas. It is 8:37. Traffic and weather together in a minute. But first, to check if your money in the world of business, we welcome Courtney Donahoe live at the Bloomberg News Desk.
San Antonio's first news. We are so into you on a yacht.
I can't
rock.
think of nothing else, man.
Yeah, we're just into you. We're so into you on a yacht rock. Is that Atlanta Rhythm section?
Yes, it is, Chris.
Thank you. Just checking. I know it's not Robbie Dupree who would like to steal away into the night. Yacht Rock Tuesday. Mr. T, Tim Merriman, Charity McCurdy. I'm Chris Duell. We talked about this a little bit earlier, and Charity loves the change of seasons. Charity loves colder weather. Mr. T and me, not so much. We're going to pay a visit to the 40s Thursday morning.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the 1940s. I mean 40-ish, 40-something temperatures. And again, it's so weird. My 10-day forecast on the Weather Channel, Charity, is always different from yours and Mr. T's. But my 10-day forecast says Thursday morning, low will be around 47 where I am. But that's nothing compared to next week, because those lows on Wednesday and Thursday of next week go to 44 and 42, and they stay there as the lows also a week from Friday and a week from Saturday.
Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking a lot of hot cocoa, hot coffee, sweater weather, fireplaces lit up. I'm loving it. And then, the leaves start to change color. This is what's really going to spark the change of color in the trees that we haven't seen yet, because fall-like temperatures have yet to arrive until now.
I'd rather go back to the 1940s, Chris, to be honest with you. Wool suits,
Listen to some
the whole
Rosemary
thing.
Clooney. And I just,
I'm not a big fan of the winter.
No, I'm not either.
It's below 80. It's too cold.
And this is just a little bit of a preview. This is just going to be a little taste of it. Then comes December and January, and somewhere in there, a hard freeze that we don't even know about yet.
We haven't named that one yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, we haven't. And I'm wondering, because it took so long for fall-like temperatures to get here. I mean, the averages were higher for the month of October, unseasonably warm. I wonder if that means we're going to have a longer winter.
Ooh. See, no,
come on.
Charity.
Why you got to go there?
What
did we do to you, man?
Are we going to have a milder winter? Are we? People talk about global warming. Can we have a warming winter, please? Can we have just a warm 72-degree winter, for crying out loud?
It's everything's cyclical. I think we're due for a longer winter. Maybe a little of the white stuff, the fluffy white stuff falling from the sky.
Dandruff?
I don't have that problem.
Well, then we don't have to worry about it then, do we?
Do we know what the old Farmer's Almanac said about this winter? I thought I heard somewhere it was supposed to be milder. Yeah, I thought I read that too a couple of months ago.
But I'm waiting for the one that says flip-flop winter. That's the one I want.
Yes.
You keep your flip-flops on all winter.
You'll do it anyway. Even if you
blow out your flip-flop, you don't have to worry about stepping on a pop-top. Because we don't have them anymore.
We're here all week, by the way.
Jimmy Buffett reference. Can we classify some Jimmy Buffett music as yacht rock music?
I keep waiting to hear it.
Yes, I hereby say yes.
We need to play some Jimmy Buffett on a yacht rock.
It's been voted on. It's unanimous. Let's go.
I'm pretty sure he owned a boat or two, a yacht. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I wonder if Jimmy Buffett ever upgraded to a yacht. He certainly had the money if he wanted to.
I think he liked the good old fashioned sailboat.
Simple life.
Sailboat, you know, the real nice one, with the cabin.
I think a yacht would have been too pretentious.
Yes.
For Jimmy
Because he was
Buffett.
a son of a sailor.
He was a son of a sailor.
Yeah.
Good point.
Hey.
We somehow morphed from a Yacht Rock Tuesday to a Jimmy Buffett Tuesday, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's because it's winter talk.
Baby.
Yeah.
Speaking of Margaritaville,
yes, we have to tell you this story coming up. Yes.
So you want to do that coming up?
Yeah, because we got to hit a break because it's going to take a while.
Mr. T and I have an issue with a local establishment. Well, we love the food, but there's a policy we don't love.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, we'll tell you about that coming up. And we are not awarding a Michelin star to this place.
No, not at all.
Although until yesterday,
food-wise, they could get one,
it.
but yeah.
Okay, more on that coming up. We'll get you caught up on headlines, traffic, weather, and more. WOAI News Time 8:45. Just ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather together. And we'll see if we can award a Michelin star or not to a local eatery. First, Charity McCurdy, what stories are you following?
President-elect Trump is set to tap Florida Senator Marco Rubio for Secretary of State. A search is underway to replace the resigning Bexar County elections administrator. And SpaceX is revealing more details about its upcoming launch attempt. We'll have more coming up right now, traffic and weather.
Partly cloudy, partly sunny today and tomorrow. Low to mid 80s today for a high. Mid 80s tomorrow. And then on Thursday, sunny skies, highs in the upper 70s. 66 degrees at an Alamo Ranch. 66 in Von Ormy. And 64 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time 850.
We yelled and screamed for more.
We did, didn't we?
Yesterday, Mr. T and I, we didn't yell and scream, but we took our business elsewhere.
Yes,
Charity,
we did.
yesterday after the show, as you know, we have post-show meetings. After every show, there's a post-show meeting. You were not here, and we were bummed out, Mr.
Extremely
T and I.
bummed out, yes.
And we thought, what could lift our spirits? Spirits and breakfast tacos.
Yes.
So let's go. Let's have a meeting. Have some breakfast tacos and have a couple of beers. It's after work. It's it's quitting time.
Yes.
So we went to one of our favorite restaurants, and I don't want to, I want to be clear here. We love the cuisine, Taco Palenque.
We love it.
Charity, you turned me on to the Taco Palenque app to get breakfast tacos for the show. I then did that a week ago or two. So we thought, okay, let's go to Taco Palenque. So we go. And as we walked in, I know you know how they have those big ice bins where they keep the beer and the beverages. I walked in, and Mr. T walked in, and we noticed
there was no beer in the little bin with the ice in it. There was nothing but sodas and stuff.
And so we asked, "Are you serving beer at this time?" And
he says, "Not till 11 o'clock."
9:15 in the morning, and they're not serving
not
beer.
till 11 o'clock.
And it's a 24-hour restaurant, correct?
Yes.
That's interesting.
So what did we do, Chris?
We walked right out of there.
Yes, we did.
And right next door
was a Taco Cabana.
Taco Cabana.
And guess what? They sold us beer and margaritas.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So we wanted to give our money to Taco Palenque, but
they didn't want it.
They would not provide us with adult beverages at 9:15 in the morning.
See, that policy needs to change.
Yes.
The law says at 7:30 they can legally start selling alcoholic beer and wine and stuff at 7:30 in the morning, but they decided no, not till 11 o'clock.
So you didn't ask to speak to the manager?
No, we just turned around and walked out, went
right
next
out
door.
of there.
Okay. All right.
Went right next door and walked in and said, are you selling beer? The guy said, we'll sell you anything you want.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so we bought it.
I'm glad it all worked out.
It did finally.
Yeah.
But it was just a whole aggravation of knowing that there's a place close to the radio station with great food that won't sell us beer before 11 o'clock.
Yeah, maybe I wonder if it would have been the same outcome if I had been there at
Probably
Taco
not. They would
Palenque.
say,
I
oh,
wonder-
charity. Oh, sorry, charity. We've got your table ready for you.
And
over
we
here
have
with
elite craft beer for
a
you.
champagne bucket on the
On tap.
table. Yes.
Right. Yeah, this is our special reserve. Only when charity comes in, we serve this
you
kind
didn't
of
tell
beer.
us that you know charity. That's what we're gonna get. Yeah.
Well, we should just try and miserably fail and laugh about it later. Yeah.
So I guess, Charity, do we rescind our Michelin star for Taco Palenque until they start serving beverages earlier than 11 o'clock in the morning?
I want to believe it was just some misunderstanding. There was a new employee on the job at the time,
Yeah,
didn't
see-
know what to do. I
don't buy that because there was no beer in the receptacle that holds the ice and the other beverages.
They call that a cooler, right?
Well, I call it a receptacle.
Ice bin. I call it a bin.
It's a receptacle.
Yeah.
All I know is there was no beer in it.
Okay.
Tomorrow on the show, Charity, it's a Wembenyama Wednesday. Oh, by the way.
Okay.
So we're kind of what's the name of the restaurant that won the Michelin? Mixedly. A progressive, and that's what their word, not mine.
Yes.
A progressive Mexican restaurant in Southtown. So we're going to ask people. We're giving away Spurs tickets on a Wembenyama Wednesday. So tomorrow we're going to ask if you could take Victor Wembanyama to one restaurant to show him the greatest cuisine in San Antonio. Where would you take it?
Is it before 11 o'clock?
I better be. Or I mean,
well, if it is, then I know where I'm not taking it.
Maybe we're taking the Taco Cabana. So, but he's 21. He's drinking age.
He's Victor Wembanyama.
Is he drinking? I thought he was 20.
He can do whatever he wants.
Did he turn 21 yet?
Yeah. I got a fake ID for. I got a fake ID for him.
He's just 20.
Just 20. All right.
Yeah.
So,
I got a fake ID.
So I guess he could go to Taco Palenque and not be concerned because he wouldn't be ordering an adult beverage.
Who's going to turn him down, man? Come on.
So anyway, we're going to ask that question tomorrow, and somebody's going to win a family 4-pack of Spurs tickets.
Yes.
To see Victor Wembanyama. So it's going to be a beautiful thing.
It's going to be great.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Very, very cool. Charity has all the big news you need to know about at the top of the hour. After that, the Glenn Beck program, always very, very entertaining and enlightening. But right now, your Sean Hannity Morning Minute, WOAI News Time, 8:56.
See you guys later. Have a good day.
Adios.
Bye.